Viewers, please be advised that the SonarFeed is an uncensored live broadcast and may not be suitable for all audiences. You are watching a special Cascadia rivalry edition of the SonarFeed with your hosts, Aaron Sonar Riley, Lee Rail, and Adam C. Smith. Your hosts are joined by Kyle Gervin of the Future Podcast on SonarCast.com, Charles Lehman, Rick Parker, and Ryan Sales of the Cheeky Backheel Podcast on CheekyBackheel.com. This episode of the SonarFeed is broadcasting to you live over Ustream direct from Casa de Sonar. Previous episodes may be found online at www.sonarcast.com, on YouTube, or on iTunes. Tonight, there shall be one subject, and one subject only. Seattle Sounders FC versus the Portland Timbers. This is the SonarFeed.
Hello, everybody. Good evening. This special Cascadia night before evening. Welcome into a special broadcast of SonarFeed. We're calling it 9.5-ish. Ish. Kind of halfway through the week, but not quite halfway through the week, or a little more, I guess, actually. So, we are joined here today. You got me. I'm Aaron Riley, Sonar Riley on Twitter. Over here to my left, but it kind of actually works down there. We have Adam C. Smith.
Hello.
Hello. Lee Rail. Over here to my right, and this wonderful thing, we have Charles at Chaz4444. We have Rick at the Mod Writer, and we have Ryan.
Hello. Good evening.
At Sales on Sounders. So
you got all that,
everyone? There will be a test later. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk tonight a lot about, or only about, the Cascadia. We have a big match tomorrow night for a lot of reasons. There's some good news that came out today. One of the gentlemen sitting at this table produced a great little article about it.
Broke the news. It's called a scoop in the industry.
Scooped the news. Did a great job on that, so we appreciate that, Charles.
He may have incited riots someplace, maybe in Egypt.
Yeah, there was a little bit.
He may have been called a liar.
That was a different thing.
So what I'm going to do, before we get started, I want to just do like we do on the normal show. I want to throw it around the table, give everyone a couple seconds. Oh, off camera, we have a couple guests too. You're going to hear a voice of, do you want your actual name or just your Twitter name used? Oh, yours is your name. Okay, never mind, that was an accent. At Melody C. Jones, if I'm not mistaken. Melody down there.
That is actually my name as well.
So there we go. It worked out well.
For fuck's sake, really?
At Brasbit over there as well. He did the wonderful opening. Brasbit is going to maybe say one or two words. And at Darkwinds also here. She may or not say a few words.
Blogger extraordinary on the SonarCast network.
Talking about video games. So, Adam, I'm starting with you.
Hey, what's going on? My name's Adam Smith. I'm happy to be here tonight. You guys have just jumped aboard a cross-country bus. And Brasbit's the engineer. So if anything goes wrong, say hi to him. And I'd like to introduce my sometimes friend
hey,
Lee Rail. How you doing?
What's going on? Good to see you.
It's good to see you.
How's your week been?
My week's been great. Last night I was on the internet with you guys. Some of you guys were actually there.
I forgot that.
I was ordering an iPhone 5. I got 2. Some other people at this table may have gotten 0.
Yes, bad customer support.
Anyway, I'm just going to go ahead and leave it at that.
I was going to bring it up, but you brought it up.
Well, subject closed.
That was the late night show.
On to the next.
It was. Actually, we had a great After Dark show last night. For you guys don't know, we were piloting the opportunity to do a show After Dark for our for our non-childlike folk. So
Adam can't watch it?
He can participate, not watch.
I can be on it, but I shouldn't watch
There may have been some weird talk about fleshlights and other things. So. Anyway, leave it at that.
Yes.
Leave it at that.
This is not the After Dark anymore. All right, let's go over here and let's jump over to Ryan. Ryan, you want to say a few words to the camera for us?
Yeah, absolutely. My name is Ryan Sales. At Sales on Sounders on Twitter, and started writing a couple years ago. And last season, I met a gentleman who we are hoping is actually doing well in Portland, Jacob Cristobal, who is the co-editor with me on Cheeky Backheel. And he's the only person not here tonight, and we're just hoping he has a safe return on Monday, survives Portlandia, and just love being here with the entire awesome, amazing Sonar group.
Hello, Jacob. You better
Yeah,
watch
Jacob.
it.
Sorry you're not here. Next time.
I have no reports on the seagull from the baseball game yet, still either. Sorry.
Okay, great. Thanks.
Yeah, that was a joke. Yeah. All right, Rick.
Rick Parker at the Mod Rider on Twitter. You can follow me there. A lot of you probably do already.
Wait a minute.
Don't be
but
bashful.
Are you known by any other name or any other like?
Yeah.
Okay.
Rick Parker.
Go, Sounders, go!
Go,
Go, Sounders, go!
Go, Sounders, go!
I'm the guy that filmed that.
Unscripted.
Do you hear that in your sleep every night?
No.
Oh, okay, just wondering.
Okay.
No, strangely enough. No,
We just keep bringing it up.
Yes. It'll never.
Only when I'm around you guys. For
It'll
some
never
reason.
die.
Oh, trust me, there's a lot of other people still talking about it too.
I mean, come on. Why are we still talking about it? It's Portland Week.
Because
Well,
people
okay,
want to
it
shout
is
in your
Portland
ear.
Because
Week.
you won't stop talking. We're ready to move on. No, I'm just teasing.
You're talking
I
about
was going to say thanks for having me, but now I don't know.
We're glad you're here.
GTFO.
This whole show's an elaborate hoax just to talk about this.
The Ghost
all
Hunters.
night.
Yeah, just a screen.
They'll be here in 10 minutes.
All right.
He's
Bring
actually,
the bus in.
Mr. Charles.
Charles Lehman, Chaz, Quadruple 4. As usual, just thankful that we have the synergy with the SonarFeed guys, with the Cheeky Backheel. Obviously exciting news today about Marcus Hahnemann. We'll get into that later. But mainly the show is about the Cascadia Derby match. So
Yes. And
with that, let's get into it.
our neighbors to the south.
Okay. All right. Excellent.
Marcus Hanneman.
So what I want to do is there's a lot of stuff to talk about tonight. But one of the things I want to do is I want to start out with and say, let's talk about some of our memories of the Cascadia. The good, the bad, the ugly, the whatever you have. Right. So for me, my Cascadia knowledge starts at the MLS level. But who here has been following the team longer than the MLS?
Yeah, I go back to the NASL.
Okay, so let's start with you, Ryan.
Timbers actually were not in Portland. Important. They were not important during the NASL. It was the Whitecaps, and the first match I went to see was Sounders and Whitecaps. They came here. Whitecaps won, and I was 9 years old, and that brought me the passion of soccer that stays with me to today. Absolutely. And the fans, for anybody who thinks that the fans are new, doesn't really get the whole Sounders thing, because you're talking about an afternoon game, and it was 20,000 plus.
Right.
And that was not unusual at the time. That's the NASL. That's what brought me here. That's probably why I'm sitting here.
Yeah, that's great. So for me, I am a newbie, right? I'm a season ticket holder since 2009, since I started, but I didn't experience those days, and I that's why I like to hear that. I like that because I don't have the history myself personally, but I believe very much so that I want to learn about it and go back as far as I can to be in that same realm. So, Charles?
He's the missing element that everyone likes to talk about. We're all customers, we're all new to this in MLS, but there are so many fans that were with that, from the beginning, and that so many people forget about. So credit to you, Ryan.
Well, there's one link that we have that is for the current thing tonight. Marcus Hahnemann is the most well-known Sounder I've ever got to meet. And it was in the 96 A-League Championship. It's probably one of the last times you'll ever get to go down on the field. He's down there celebrating. They go into the locker room. They come out. They're throwing clothes to everybody. He starts putting his water bottle all over his mouth, gets his sweat going, and looks right at me and throws me the water bottle. And I thought, Marcus Hahnemann, I'm going to follow you for life. And that was 96. And here he is coming back to Sounders. It was like, I literally, when Rick told me that he had joined tonight, I literally jumped. That was too awesome.
About 2 feet off the ground. It was crazy.
That's awesome. I didn't know you could jump that high.
Did you squeal? Did you squeal too?
Yes, I did.
Oh,
Are you sure
It
that
really made the other people on the street uncomfortable, which
It's making
is
me
great.
feel uncomfortable. I wasn't even
Are you
there.
sure the street didn't drop 2 feet instead of you jumping?
there was an earthquake over West Seattle. Lee, so you also had some history. Is that what
Mostly just pre MLS with A-League Sounders and stuff like that. So, which I 113 Sounders, and then our seatmates now at the stadium used to actually do the broadcast for the Sounders at Starfire right before they moved over. So getting to see the team, the all the early guys before 2009 when they all started, all those guys that kind of came and went, and it was kind of interesting to see the team kind of disintegrate a little bit, keep those one sets of players in there, and then everybody else just kind of faded away to other USL teams at the time. So it was interesting to see people kind of snatch up little players here and there. So.
Adam, let's jump over to you real quick. What's your memory? What's your best memory?
I kind of fall in between these two guys because I was born in '73, but so I went to a lot of NASL games, but I was young. And I remember going to Memorial Stadium in the Kingdom and watching, and they were packed, and there was a lot of passion for it. And I remember, I was too young to understand why it was going away, why the NASL disappeared. It was like this is the last Sounders game, and I was very young and it was sad. And I moved on to street racing and betting on horses. Until
so you're saying because we lost soccer, you became a corrupt individual?
Yeah,
it was that one soccer bowl, and it's all screwed.
Yeah, I haven't dabbled in baseball and basketball, and then
cocaine.
Yeah. Then I came back around and cocaine. You got to carry it. You got
that song.
Yeah.
Eric Clapton.
Yeah, I know it well.
Me too.
So so I kind of bridged the gap.
How old were you when they left, roughly?
It was 1984 or 5, so I would have been like 13.
Okay. Yeah. So as having my daughter, it's interesting because when we lose a player, and when Keller retired last year, I mean it was hard because Keller was my daughter's favorite player, and it was interesting to get that reaction of an 8-year-old, a 9-year-old, a 7-year-old, etc., or 13-year-old in this case, to lose your franchise, to lose your
Gabriel.
Your guy, exactly right. It's an interesting thing, and especially for somebody who's involved in so much of the history.
Right.
It's hard. It's really hard.
But that makes it more exciting to have him in the announcing booth.
Yeah,
I agree.
Yep.
Yes.
Love that.
Yep. Absolutely. Rick, let's jump over to you.
Well, I mean, I'm a transplant, so I wasn't here for those old days.
Get
so
out.
I started following. No,
Just
sorry.
kidding. Just
Get out.
I started following here and there, USL days, but I didn't get to any of the Cascadia matches. It's like you hear about it, but I never got to any of those. So I mean, I was really excited. Last year, especially, now they're all here in the MLS and it gets to the big time, and that was super exciting, especially since it got to come back to where it belongs. So no more letting Vancouver just have it.
For me, last year, the Vancouver game when Hasley scored that goal, right? That wonder goal, that absolutely gorgeous, beautiful goal. I hate to say it, but it's an amazing.
It's seared
goal.
into my brain.
The
I read above
match?
it.
No,
that
was here.
That was South End.
Yeah,
Some of Keller's quotes about it were like, it was just
Alonzo gives it up. Hasley puts it in.
Beautiful.
It was beautiful.
Gorgeous.
Yeah.
And then I missed the Portland match. I was in Quebec City in my dress pants and my Sounders jersey with one ear and an earphone listening to, at the time, obviously, Arlo White, and on my iPhone while having dinner with my clients and partners. And they're like, do what you want. It's like, all right, I'm going to. So, okay.
Did you make this?
Lost that sale.
Yes.
You made it?
Yes.
There you go. All right.
Charles, how about you? What's your history?
Just always been a big World Cup fan. That goes back to 94, 98, and all through that. And then really became huge in soccer in 06 after I watched Germany. Big German national team fan. Jens Lehmann, kind of my same last name. Heritage dropped the second N, but through that I became a big Arsenal fan and I was always ready for top flight soccer. So then as soon as we got the team inaugural year, I signed up right away. Got on the security deposit list. Inaugural year, season tickets ever since. So it's just been great to have a team here. It's so blessed, really.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Yeah. And I have 4 tickets. I only had 3. I had my one daughter and then my wife and myself, and we bought one more for my son, knowing that we were planning on eventually having a second kid. So I wanted to have this family thing, which is great.
Beautiful.
Planned pregnancy.
Absolutely, we had a kid because of the Sounders. We had the kid because of the Sounders.
Wow.
I like it.
Are you a season ticket holder?
No. Why would I be?
Okay.
I don't even like the Sounders. Why am I here?
I'm not sure.
What's a soccer?
There are 7 people in the chat room asking the same question.
I go to every match and I buy my tickets from those guys that stand on the corner.
Oh,
You always
me too.
have like tons of them.
No, I am.
Awesome.
They're always looking for tickets, though.
They always say they're looking and then I buy. I don't
Now,
get it.
Always
you
look.
live-
Why are they always looking when they have tickets? They
I don't know.
sign around their neck, holding up tickets.
If someone can
you
explain
live
that.
near me, kind
Yeah,
of.
yeah.
The
And
cheap
there's
steal deal.
There's a lady who stands on the corner up there, up by the McDonald's.
She
and
wants
stuff.
some change.
No, she always has a job interview. Every single day she has a job interview. I think she must know these guys because they always have tickets but need tickets.
Well,
they
wait.
must,
Who does she interview with?
I don't know.
You might want to get on that list.
I know. I'm looking for
We're not
work.
paying you anymore.
I know. I've been paid with.
Now let's move on to
say.
our least favorite moments in the
Really, you're gonna make me throw up a little
Why
bit?
do we have to do this?
because it's riveting entertainment.
Can I go? I'll start. I want to start
Please,
this.
I want you to start.
My least favorite moment in Sounders history.
No,
Cascadia.
Oh, Cascadia Cup.
Yeah.
If you want to do a Sounders one too, that's fine. But really, we're here for Cascadia.
Oh wow.
That's tomorrow.
Okay. Let's see here.
We don't need to hear about men's room
Cascadia Cup
stuff. Let's stick with
We said what
Cascadia.
happens in Kansas City stays in Kansas City.
I know.
That
No.
would be the least favorite.
I didn't leave anything.
All time.
I didn't give
So
anything.
I don't think I have any other than Hasley's. When Hasley popped that goal, and that was actually just a kick in the nuts.
Yeah.
Other than that, I mean, there hasn't really been a lot of.
Well, I think the result earlier this year
Well,
was rough.
yeah,
Against
It's
Vancouver.
true.
I mean, against
It's true.
Portland.
Portland, yeah.
yeah,
It was unexpected.
Going
for
down
me.
2-0 early.
Yeah.
The almost fight breaking out in the second
Yeah.
half. Or
Yeah, right at the bar
overtime.
where we were
Yeah.
at.
Yeah.
No. Oh, it was.
Yeah,
I wasn't talking about that one.
that may
Did
be
you
my.
make anybody cry that night?
I did make somebody cry that night. It may have been our server, Caitlin.
Man.
Hi, Caitlin.
were you angry because of the Summer Sounders match?
No, I was angry because she was making me move.
I know.
How about you guys over here? Let's move over. Do you guys have the most painful moment, or are they?
Yeah, I made my first ECS Travel Monkey away experience in June at the Portland match. For anyone that hasn't gone, it's a must-do thing. Go to Portland, go to Vancouver, travel with ECS, get on the bus, get up early, hit up the keg at 9 in the morning, hit up that rest stop, and just, throw down there.
Yeah.
It's a really, really fun experience. But since then, I have been banned from going because we lost. And that was my one experience, and we lost. I feel like I jinxed it.
You did jinx
I feel
it.
awful. I
You
feel
should.
terrible.
No,
I
no.
drank the whole
That
way
was
home
all
on the
your
bus.
fault?
Everyone was passed out sleeping, but I was the one man drinking, in my sorrows. I'm not allowed anymore.
I absolve you.
That's
It's not your fault.
That's why I am. I wasn't actually banned. I'm
Oh, I
just
thought
banning
your
myself.
significant other said you can't go anywhere.
I'm just banning
Okay.
myself.
Alright.
That's why I'm here now. I'm not going this weekend. That's why we will
She
win.
just hates you.
Nice. I love it.
Thanks for the prediction.
I like that.
He's a good Chevy.
My least favorite moment is probably right now, knowing
Yeah.
that they're so close
Yeah.
to clinching
Yeah.
it, and they're so bad. It's like,
Yeah.
you guys don't deserve
Wait a
it.
second, but they're only playing for one game.
Yeah.
They're playing. They're playing
It's
for
true.
one game of their entire season.
Their entire
Yeah.
season rests on this one
That's
game,
it.
basically.
We beating us is
that's
all
a
they.
lot.
This is their MLS Cup.
It is. This is their. This
Yeah,
is their World
it's
Cup.
one of
Which
those
is why they
moments
will
where,
lose.
like, no matter how bad they are, it's. I mean, that's the thing. Like, even earlier this year, with a rivalry like this, all bets are off. I mean, obviously, we're
That's
going to win.
actually.
But
it was kind of funny because I.
but they bring
actually,
a game that they wouldn't normally have.
Yeah.
I mean,
Sounder at Heart did a really good job of really putting out a lot of statistical information
Yes.
this week, and they're usually really good at that at Derby
Yeah.
Week, which is really cool. But the thing is like I said, I posted it yesterday on Twitter. Strange things happen. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know who saw last year in the Prem when Wigan beat the shit out of Man United. I'm just going to bring it up now.
That was
Wigan
very
fan.
well.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, weird things happen in big games, you
Yeah.
know.
But local rivalries have always been like that. I mean,
Yeah.
You've always got Man City before they were a big club. Before
Sure.
They had all the money, would always beat Man U.
Sure.
It's just that kind of clash.
And that's what makes the Cascadia rivalry so huge. Is this
And
rivalry?
unique. Is it fair to say unique? In
It
the
is
US?
because it's
Yeah.
been this rivalry has been in the Pacific Northwest since 74.
Yeah.
So-
74.
Hey.
So
75 when the Timbers came in.
well, 74
Yeah,
Whitecaps
74,
were in.
The little
Whitecaps.
brother always comes after.
I
the
keep
big one,
forgetting
so
about
yeah.
the Whitecaps like
Well,
everybody else.
know
has
your
this
history.
season.
I mean, there's still a lot of
Like they've
asterisks
forgotten
in their
about it.
I can
history.
grab my scarf if we want to go look at our history.
Yeah.
The scarf is awesome.
Thanks
about
to
that.
that's a great
Yeah,
one.
I mean, look at he was in the room earlier, but
Yeah.
look at I mean that's a great
Yeah.
scarf. I mean, that's
Unbeaten
Great
while I've been
scarf.
wearing that scarf.
I guess our audio and
So-
video must be okay since he left.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's like I've got nothing to make fun of.
Yep.
Yeah.
Damn
I
it.
have a
Plenty,
complete
plenty.
hate moment. I
Oh,
have,
all right, there you go.
and it's inaugural season, and so I'm already kind of a sensitive, emotional guy.
Damn it.
It was 2009.
It's
So
So
Get
it's-
some clean
so
thank
it's-
you. It might
Yeah,
take
probably
cleanup.
gets
Sure.
My sleeve.
Might
have some
This must be the Open Cup game.
And yes, it is. It's a week before the 2009 Open Cup. You're exactly right. And I'm on Facebook, which we all know is the wrong thing to do. I know that now. I've learned, but I didn't know that at the time I was on Facebook. I was searching for some, Facebook pages that might be interesting. I found one. It was called Seattle Sounders Equals Absolute Garbage. The guy who put together the site, I won't give his name, but he is a capo. And he's actually written for MLS.com. Now, that's not trash, really, is it? Seattle Sounders equals absolute garbage. That's no big deal. No, that's not going to hurt anyone. The issue was that he had the Seattle Sounders logo, and diagonally across it, in big, thick, graffiti red lettering, he had "Eat Shit."
Oh, I remember that.
Oh, by the way, this is a PG show tonight. So
I know.
Yeah, could you?
For fuck's sake, Ryan! Jesus Christ!
Could you curb
I
your?
can't take you
curb your
anywhere,
mouth a little
goddamn
bit?
it, without swearing the shit.
I leapt out of my
You
office
do
chair.
a lot of leaping, don't you?
I do.
Are you sure things don't fall out from under you?
No.
Okay.
But it could happen. And I went onto the site, I joined it, and I basically did a Cyrano de Bergerac type thing where, Cyrano takes on 100 and wins, right?
Now you do realize who our viewers are, right?
I know.
Right,
So
okay.
who's
So
Cyrano de
explain this.
Bergerac?
Thank you.
Cyrano
Sorry,
de
viewers.
Bergerac
Can you help me?
walks into a
Get old
pub.
Dennis
Clone
Miller.
Wars.
He's got a
Sick
big
football.
long nose. He gets offended and he tells 20 jokes better than the one that was told about him.
Right.
And so what I did is I told everyone in this room, including the owner, I said, I will take you all on. And I took on 125, and my goal was to shut down the site. Now, the redemption part was actually a week later, 48 seconds into the match with Roger. But the best redemption, a week after the MLS Cup here in Seattle, Facebook shut down the site. I knocked him out. So
Nice.
it's my hate moment. I'm not really proud of it because that isn't what I think the rivalry is about.
What's
But
your PayPal email address, just so all the fans can send, everyone send him $1?
So, Lee,
Yeah.
as a side note,
Yeah.
go watch the movie Roxanne.
Rax. Oh.
Not that
Steve
kind of
Martin.
Steve
Martin?
No, I know the movie. I know. Never mind. God.
Really? Oh, okay. I wasn't trying to play into it or anything.
Wow.
So that's good. I like that though. That's good.
I will check it out so I can. Is it on Netflix streaming?
Sure.
I have no idea.
I've seen it on Netflix.
I can check. You want me to stop doing the show and check?
Could you?
It might be on that computer.
Shut it down!
Hey guys, we'll be back in an hour and a half after we go watch Roxanne.
Cyrano.
And you can all watch it along with us.
Commercial break for an hour and a half
Yeah,
while we go watch Roxanne.
Yeah, giant.
All right, we have a question from the audience that I want to bring up.
Fine.
It's a good one because it is a. There's actually 3 or 4 questions here. We got some good people giving us some feedback here.
Hi, people.
We have people.
We do.
Nice.
We do.
Is Kareem in there?
IA Track 15 says, what are your thoughts on Facedo now that he is with Portland? And this one I want to go first on this one because I was, as we all know at this table and those of you watching, I was not a fan of the trade. I like Facedo. I like that kind of player. Cordell Cato has taken that role for me, and I like that.
Mm-hmm.
If he could finish a little more, then Facedo, if he could have finished a little more, he could.
That's what she said.
Yeah, exactly. But he's short and quick and has good feet.
That's
and
what
can
she
handle
said.
the balls well.
That's what she said.
You just can't put it away and put it into the side net.
Steve Carell's going to send you a cease and desist letter.
Yeah, pretty close. So
Well, if you quit
Steve-
being so innuendoing.
I know.
Me. Anyway, so
Mr. Krell,
I miss
please.
Facedo. I like Facedo quite a bit. I actually missed Nagel more than Facedo when the trade went down because I like Nagel for different reasons. He was a good midfielder. He was a good,
Hometown boy.
hometown boy, Federal Way.
Yeah.
So for me, I'm excited for Facedo. I want him to do well. He's once a Sounder, always a Sounder. Even if you go to Scum, or the Portland team or that team down south, whatever you want to call them. So for me, it was hard. I was not a fan of Eddie Johnson coming in. My preconceived notions of the way he was, I was not a fan of it.
I thought he
at
was
all.
a fan at first, though. I
No,
thought you started
not at
out from the get-go.
No. He was all pissed
I
off
was
about
all
the
pissed
trade.
off.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, okay.
I was the
We
only
were there.
one.
We were at the terrible
Yeah.
meeting the night it went down.
I had it asked back.
I was just like yes.
I keep thinking you're in my neck of the woods. I forgot there, too.
No, too, yeah, here,
So,
yeah. So to me, I was frustrated, etc. But I when he went to Montreal, I thought, okay, good. They picked him. They wanted him. He's gonna get a chance to start.
And you ended up justified because he's leading the league in goals, right?
Who?
Facedo.
No, that's Eddie Johnson.
Oh.
I was wrong. I've said I was wrong multiple
Let me
times.
check my stats.
Yeah. So, but
Just doing my job. I'm just doing my job.
Also going to have a chance to play, but he hasn't. So for me, I want him to do well. I really do. I want him to do well. I don't want him to do well tomorrow.
No.
But in general, I want him to do well because I do miss him. I like the guy. I would like to see him do well. He signed an autograph for me for my daughter. You know, at the end of year meeting, etc. He's a great guy.
This brings up a question for later that maybe we can come back to.
Then don't ask it now.
No, because we'll forget. We can circle back if we have time. But once you become a timber, even if you're once a sounder, always a sounder, can you come back? Can you ever come back?
That's actually on the list.
All right,
yeah, we'll come back to that. I want to go to Rick here.
I mean, yeah, I was kind of bummed about that trade too. I'm like, really? I mean, and that was just based on Eddie Johnson's past, recent past performances. Like he hadn't done anything since 2007, 2004 in my book. Really, was when he had anything good. And that, but I'm like, I'm going to give this trade a chance because it was a need that we had to fill.
Right.
And I mean, I had a feeling that would work out because that's why these guys get paid so much, is to know what's going on.
He doesn't get paid that much.
Well, he gets paid more than me for doing my bullshit. So.
You talking about EJ?
Yeah.
$100K a year?
Well, I mean, I was just talking Hanauer, for making the,
you're talking, okay.
making the trade.
Hanauer. I thought you were talking EJ.
No.
I was going to say EJ doesn't make anything.
I'm going to segue real quick, and then we'll come right back, because I am going to Cuba this weekend to scout a center back. I'm not actually going to Costa Rica for business. I'm going to Cuba. Thank you, Kyle, for that one, yes.
Nice.
So,
does Ozzy has a cousin we don't know about?
Yes, he does, yeah.
Kyle,
I'm also bringing back cigars.
But I mean, I was hopeful that the EJ trade was going to work out. I didn't think it was going to work out nearly as well as it would.
Right.
And my hope was, Fucito and Nagel, they'd succeed in Montreal. Obviously, that didn't happen with Fucito, and I think because his heart, he's still here in Seattle.
Definitely.
I think so. And at least he's back in the Northwest. I don't
know.
if he's at Portland, but he's injured. He's not playing tomorrow, right? That's what you were saying.
He was.
He's
off the list. I mean, he's the one thing. If those guys have to get one goal against us, and that was in my prediction, was one goal, and I hope it would be him, because I wouldn't want anyone else to score on us. As long as it's not the game winner. He can score one.
Yeah,
everyone. Well, he played in the game in Portland.
Mm-hmm.
He did come in and play that game briefly, but he did come in, and you could just tell the hearts of every Sounders fan that knew the game and knew Mike as a player and a personality here. Everybody's heart sunk and just wanted to just throw things at their TV.
Yeah, I met him at Hard Rock
I try to sell my
Cafe,
soul to Satan.
He gave me 3 minutes. It was ridiculous. Why would a guy do that? He was just he was just hanging out at Hard Rock with, I think, James Riley and a few of the guys. Keller was there, and I just said, "Hey, I'm just a real fan," and he ended up just not walking away, but hanging out for 3 minutes. So when he went, I was disappointed. But what was different for me, Aaron, than you is that Eddie Johnson coming in just sparked immediately in me the joy that I think that I've seen at moments with Eddie, and I just immediately thought, you know what? Eddie's going to come in here. He's going to see the crowd. He's going to want this, and he's going to want to do something more with this than just do well for the Sounders. There is so much to that. I thought it was a beautiful trade. That being said, the first piece that I was ever proud of that I wrote, the Fucito finish, about Fucito's first goal, I did actually go down to the pitch and gave the... we had just got Jeff Park, I think, had played one of his first matches, and I handed the piece to Jeff Park, who was to go back and hand it to Fucito. I don't know that ever happened, but Fucito's been a big deal to me.
Well, in the chat room here, we have from Sonder and PDX. I expect the front office wasn't expecting this from EJ. Good, sure, but not a dark horse MVP candidate.
He has been so amazing. I don't think anybody saw him.
Can he qualify for
being
most improved
man
player
on
also?
fire? He's a grown ass man on fire. If I had Photoshop skills, I would take the Man on Fire DVD cover and have Eddie scoring a goal.
Like the costumes from
somebody here in the room, maybe. I don't know. I don't know anybody that could.
No.
It's a true testament to technical director Chris Henderson and fitness guy Dave Tenney. They both worked in Kansas City. They've worked with Eddie Johnson before. It was obviously their word.
They went down to Bradenton.
They believed that he could do this.
They pulled him out of the at IMG down in Bradenton in January. They knew they had worked with him, and they basically sat down with him and said, "We are going to take a chance on you.
Yep.
We are going to pull the trigger." Because this is, you got to remember, he just got in that crap with his wife down in Miami.
Exactly.
He was in a complete depression. He was back living with his parents, just about, from what I understand. I don't know about that part, but he was living there, back in camp, working with kids like he's doing here, working with youth players and really trying to condition his game. They saw him down there when we went down to Bradenton for training camp in January, pulled him in, and I mean.
Now, can we just say though that this is where our staff, our management, our front office,
They're amazing.
Beautiful.
Believe in him.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Believe
Right.
in
I
him.
mean, so when we signed Marcus Henneman today, and this is part of me says he's 40, he's getting old, he's history.
Look at
I'm
Friedel.
excited about that. I agree. Look, Keller was older
Keller?
too.
Yeah.
Well, look at me.
But
You had him over there.
Same age.
Anyway,
Spry.
so I
I'm a
with
stud.
EJ's the way EJ's worked out. My opinion of the way front office does stuff is I've always appreciated what they've done, etc. But I think I'm going to be even more forgiving for a while they do this.
Fair
I'm
to
gonna
say
vote.
that-
I was joking.
Yeah.
I jokingly said I want to vote Hanauer out when they did the EJ trade.
No, that was not joking. There was
Yeah,
fire and
serious.
venom.
So you went there.
If this was
You
a
went there.
dictatorship, Hanauer would be working
Okay.
somewhere else right
I
now.
went there.
Alright.
Dude, he has a button someplace. It was on a scarf for a while.
He was twittering it out.
It was.
I did fire Adrian.
So would you say
50
that this whole
I
thing
remember
that
that.
exceeds your expectations?
Or
Oh, what for EJ?
Yeah.
Oh my God! This to me, this is a season-changing move. It really was. I mean, this is not only season.
It's a club
this is
changing
a club franchise-changing move. What they did. This has gotten us noticed on the international front even more than we expected because Eddie has those ties outside of here. That brings in for the front office a ton more people around the world who are Sounders fans now.
Eddie Johnson for the national team now.
Come
on.
Nah, I'm not even going to go there.
I
What
will.
I am going to
I'll go
say,
there.
what I'm going to say is
just went there.
Eddie Johnson was brought to this club for one reason, and that was to set Freddie Montero on fire.
Spry.
And guess what?
It did.
We have enough
Wow, never even
games.
thought of it that way.
We have enough games that if you were the leading scorer on a team for 3 years straight, 4 years
You're not
straight,
getting back down from that.
you're going to go and charge after that. I mean, how many more hat tricks is Montero going to get this season to try to just kick the shit out of Eddie?
Yeah.
I mean, you want to talk
How
about man on
that
fire?
assist, though? I mean, how about that assist?
Oh my
though?
God!
Oh,
Oh my God,
Jesus,
beautiful.
I'll tell you what. If he does, if Freddie does not score another goal for the rest of the year, but can service that up like that and give us those to Eddie, I'll take that all day long.
Oh.
That
You
non-goal-
I think Eddie's made Montero grow as a player.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well said.
Those two can feed off of each other,
Yeah.
and Montero's now giving
Plus
assists.
And it was questioned for a long time. I was surprised how long it was questioned, and now all of a sudden they're the fearsome twosome, or they have all
they're
these
the
nicknames.
hottest- they are.
And just
the
a
hottest
few
duo.
weeks ago, can these guys work together?
And that's exactly what they wanted to happen when they
Right.
came in, was
Yeah.
to have this
Well,
kind of dynamic. And like you were saying,
Yeah.
Freddie is not going to let that goal scoring record go.
No.
Which only is good things
You can
for
see
us.
you can see it when they both scored
Yeah.
in the game 2 weeks ago. You could both see it when Freddie scored that first goal, and he just was like, "I'm back on top,
Yeah.
bitches."
It can only be good for us, right? As a team. I mean, that's
So the goal celebrations are only going to get better. is
Yes.
what you're
Yeah.
saying.
Now, I will.
A lot more.
No, hold on. We'll kind of come back to goal celebration, so I'm going to pause there for a minute. I want to say one thing as we wrap up the Facito. There's a couple comments here. Yes, I think the consensus is we all still like Facito. We want him to do well. We're all probably glad
Not
that he's
tomorrow.
not necessarily on
Yeah,
the
not
team anymore. I mean, I will take a Cordell Cato at his age and his potential over a Facito at this point. Is my
Absolutely.
personal feeling.
Casky
But we
and
all
Rose.
want him to do well. Casky Rose. We
Those
want him to do
three
well.
are the future.
Since we took a couple steps back, I started about 5 minutes ago. I was like, I've always wanted to sell my soul to anybody to become a kick-ass forward, but I wouldn't want to be Facito now.
No.
Because circling back again too,
Even
going
though
to
he
Portland.
went to Harvard.
Yeah, no, anything, because it matters right now where he's at, and we're going to come back to can he ever
Yeah,
come back?
we are.
And so one more comment on Facito, and we'll move off. The future. We have a player on the current academy, thanks to Kyle here, Ike Crook. If you like Facito, check out Ike Crook, current academy player.
Roger.
How do you spell his last name? Kruk?
K-R-O... K-R. I'm reading it. C-R-O-O-K.
Right, like a criminal, like the actual criminal.
Yes,
a crim. Smooth
yes, like
criminal.
Yeah, ooh.
I pulled that right off your Spotify list.
Remember that name. Thank you, Gervin.
Yes. Yes, we do have a couple of ghost lady voice. We have a ghost male voice. We have certain people who would rather not be on camera, and that's okay.
They're actually the biggest talent probably in the room are the ones you don't see on camera.
Exactly.
So
Yeah, I'm not the biggest.
That's the irony.
You call me the talent.
No, you call yourself the talent.
Hey, just because my shot on here says the talent.
Okay, let's take 5 seconds and go over our nicknames and decide if we were given them ourselves or someone else handed them to us. What's your nickname?
Oh, I'm the nut juggler.
Right.
You're doing myself.
I'm the pipe fitter. And what's yours?
The talent.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, we clearly gave that to you.
I actually want to just rename you the concierge killer.
Yeah.
And the Apple customer service.
He ends
I
careers.
just learned the story to that.
All right, so we've got way off Cascadia. We need to get back.
Good. No, we're on Cascadia.
But there's still we need to
Well,
thank we
now-
need to thank a few people.
Yeah, we have a lot of people here
All
to
right.
thank.
We
But
have to
okay,
thank
now,
people?
so now what I want to do is I want to talk about who, and this is not on the list yet, who is your favorite Sounders player when it comes to Cascadia matches? I mean, there's 48 seconds. Obviously, that makes a big deal. There's Freddie up in Vancouver last year to win it, to get at the cup, to come home.
Yeah.
I mean, those are two of the obvious ones. What are your feelings?
Well, Roger's obviously my favorite. I mean, he was my favorite Sounder to begin with.
Yeah.
You know, it's like first Sounders match I went to, he scored the first goal there. And so Roger's always been my favorite, but, you know, especially 48 seconds. But if we want to move away from that, I love Brad Evans' penalty kick up in Vancouver last year.
Yeah,
Well
we were having
said.
to
Put it in,
Well
'cause
said.
that was great to draw it on demerit, and you know, that I think that was like the real turning point
True.
in that match against the Cup. So
Okay. Lee?
I'm gonna have to say Nate Jakwa in 2009 in the Open Cup game.
Good job.
Just because you want to talk about this little baby giraffe just giving the Portland defense, the back line just brutalized them. I
Did you
mean,
just call him a baby giraffe?
yes, I did.
Just making sure.
Yes, I
He's
did.
not the first one.
But yeah, the way he played that, I mean, just so awkward and gangly, and the way he just played that forward, gawky,
Gangly.
Again, we're not on the After Dark special yet.
wow.
Gawky's not dirty.
But yeah, 2009.
Yeah.
He thought dirty.
2009, Nate Jakwa in the Open Cup game
Great.
was just phenomenal
Yeah.
performance.
Awesome. Charles?
I'll say Zach Scott. Now that Levesque's gone,
yeah.
you know, Latua's gone, Taylor Graham is gone.
yeah,
I mean, we don't
Latua.
have anyone left that has that much experience in these matches. And you know he just loves it. And I know that he might not play tomorrow. Depends on Johansson's fitness with playing with Sweden in the internationals. But Zach Scott is definitely the guy I like because he knows this rivalry the best. And he had that great final penalty kick when we went to penalties in the U.S. Open Cup a couple years ago. And he slotted that winning kick.
Yep.
Never
That's
forget
great.
that.
Yep.
It's a hard one to
Adam?
argue with. I mean, I'm a Freddie Montero fan, so I know he doesn't have a lot of experience, but anytime he's on the pitch, it's my favorite player.
I think he's been amazing in his
Yeah.
3 years here in Seattle.
Yeah.
He steps
Oh,
up.
I mean,
He steps
he's-
up.
Yeah.
Especially
Goals or
in
no
these
goals.
games. He gets it. He understands the whole idea.
He does.
Big
You can
games.
tell he's still removed. He knows it's a big game, but
Yeah.
he's still removed. I don't know. I don't see
Don't
him
make me
getting...
hit you. Let's just make this beautiful.
All right, I love him.
Thank you. Thank you.
Nice.
No, Phil, it's like, look, it's,
No, I'm good.
there's some validity there.
I just
What
don't.
you're saying.
I think he gets the fact that they're big games, but I don't think he really. He doesn't play a rivalry game with dirt and muck, and he doesn't do it like Roger or like Jakwa or like Zach Scott or like Brad Evans. I mean, I'm not a Brad Evans fan,
Right.
but Brad Evans will get in the dirt and he'll fight on these Cascadia Cup games.
Yeah,
These guys brawl in these games. I don't think Freddie is still. Freddie approaches it like he's playing Chelsea.
But do you think that maybe some of that getting down in the dirt is starting to rub off on?
I do, I
Maybe
do.
This year and tomorrow he's going to be looking at it.
It could. Well, you got to remember he's got to get 2 goals. So
And
I think
wasn't it Evans
Freddie's a
in
winner.
San
He was
Jose?
about to throw down.
Evans in San Jose kind of stood up to one of the San Jose guys a bit.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so I think that goes a long way to backing up your point. I mean that's been a huge commitment, and you can see that that's rubbing off on Montero.
Yeah.
Of course, when you play San Jose, you're always standing up to them because they spend so much time rolling around on the floor.
Right.
So
that's like the opposite
soon?
of you. The crowd races to meet them.
It's not too soon because they're going to be
because they've been doing it all season.
they're going to be on the turf in Quest in a week. So,
Yeah.
oh, I'm sorry, I said Quest. I'm sorry.
That's
You
right,
know,
too.
it's so tough to do because you've got so many people that have contributed. You can go back to when we're at the penalty kicks in Portland, and you got Nathan Sturgis of all people stepping up.
Oh my God, I miss Nate Sturgis.
Don't you?
God.
Because you
I
just
do.
know if you are in that situation, there is a guy in a bizarre moment when you think, oh, he's not at all the person to get it done. Who is he? The guy that gets it done.
Yeah. Yeah.
But didn't Stephen King play in that first?
Stephen King.
Oh,
And then we go back to the
2009.
2009. We play him in the
2009.
Cascadia Cup. Does great. Then we
Yes.
have to go play against him in the Open Cup final.
Yeah, against DC.
You've got this amazing list of U.S. Open Cup people, but for me, when I put it all aside, Alonso. Why? Above even Levesque. Why? Because
Honey Badger don't give a
Alonso
shit.
could be the guy that just goes, U.S. Open Cup, please, people, really, give me a cigar. This is not my thing. And what does he do? He comes and he steps up in his game. Look at him in the U.S. Open Cup this year. Look at him in the U.S. Open Cup finishing off Chicago last year in the final. One of the best goals we've seen. Alonso.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. Sorry, we just killed the bug. Sorry.
We killed a crane
Had
fly
to be
the size
done.
of my hand. Well, he did actually.
No, he just
threw it.
scooped it up on the table and
The Alonso goal that he's talking about, I thought my voice was gone already, because it happened late in the game in the Open Cup. I thought my voice was gone, and he scored, and it came back.
And it was one of
My
the
voice
most
came
beautiful
back.
goals.
And that was
we've
gone
seen,
for 2 weeks.
isn't it?
Yeah, it was. They just got it back a couple
It's
days
not
ago.
a beautiful shot, but everything about that is something that could have and usually does go wrong. A guy falls, ball gets kicked away, drops away, and Alonso holds on to it like nobody's business.
And his changes of
dribbles around and
direction.
drops it in.
Yeah, his changes
Alright.
of direction really shown there.
I'm going to do 2 segues here. The first segue is more funny. Oh my God. Everyone awake now?
What?
Alright, 2 segues.
I'm deaf in my left ear.
This is semi-Cascadia, but not. Who is your favorite Sounders personality on Twitter right now? And the reason I ask this is because we have had Zach Scott. You're talking about Zach Scott. He has joined Twitter in the last few weeks, and he has done a great job. Today he tweeted out, basically, I'm not the oldest guy in the team anymore. Besides Henneman.
That's
That was
good.
phenomenal.
That's great.
Michael Gasperning, who's come on.
I'm sorry, what'd you call him?
Michael Gasperning. Joined it. I don't fucking know how you pronounce it.
You're not going to ever
That's
win
not
the
good.
contest.
Very simple. Spurning.
Didn't you listen
Spurning.
to the Gasperning commercial?
He did a
I
video of
Spurning.
Spurning
So,
commercial?
he's now joined Twitter, and I think he is playing Twitter amazingly. And of course, we have Brad Evans, who until Gasperning, you're wrong, Michael, our goalkeeper,
MG.
until he joined, he was my favorite Brad Evans Twitter personality. What do you guys think? Who's your favorite personality? And while you answer, who needs beer?
Yes.
Everybody.
The entire table raises their
You guys
hand.
answer the question. I'm gonna go get beer.
Alan Hinton.
Oh,
Hinton.
wow!
Really?
Wow.
Digging deep.
Absolutely.
Including politics?
Yes.
Are you
Okay.
serious?
Alan Hinton?
Yes, absolutely.
Was that even an
Every
option?
tweet ends in the question?
I didn't know
Okay.
that was
I
an
love
option.
Alan Hinton.
It
Everybody has
absolutely-
a good time?
Yes, it is.
Everyone
It's
happy?
absolutely
Do
an
you think
option.
we'll
You know
win?
why? Think
Equals
about it.
yes.
This
You
guy
want to
pulls you back to Brian Clough. This guy pulls you back to so much history.
true.
Yeah.
It rocks.
And
It's
he tweets
amazing.
more.
The coach.
And
He
what
tweets
does he talk about in his tweets, which is his own question mark equal sign language?
Communism.
Yeah. What
Obamacare.
no, anti-Obama.
Oh, and his piece of shit Jaguar.
But what does he
Sorry,
do? He
Alan.
brings the word rivalry.
love
He
you.
brings the word passion into every tweet. He does it for
Well,
someone
I think you're
and
right.
I shouldn't even say his age because that's rude. For someone
Shouldn't even
who
say
has
his
been
age.
around- no, you're right. I shouldn't. But for someone who is out of the game and not coaching and that far removed from it, to bring so much of what matters to the people who are in the game now, Alan Hinton.
Okay,
Yeah,
Adam.
that's a good one.
Adam, how do you feel about
I'm a
this?
fan of Mr. Hinton. I wasn't thinking off the pitch.
Yeah. That was digging deep.
That's fair.
And
I'm all for it.
I've been lucky enough to get to know
Can we go
Coach
for
Hinton
body
by
parts?
name over the last few years. He knows me by name now because I've chased him down enough times to get autographs of old stuff. But Michael Spurning's my favorite. Like just recently, a new guy, and we've got to meet him.
Yeah.
Hilarious, honest.
He is a funny dude.
Genuine man, and he's kick-ass at his position, and he's funny on Twitter, and he could be funnier, and he has restraint. It's great.
How about you, Chaz?
I'm going to say Brad Evans. At first, I was skeptical. He joined, like a year or two ago, and it seemed like it was his wife kind of controlling it at first, is what I thought. But as we've gotten to know the account, he's done some of the interviews with some of the players who aren't on Twitter or who are not wanting to produce much on Twitter, so we're getting a little more introspective angle of some of the players on the team, and I appreciate those little interviews he does when they're, like, locked up in an airport on a, layaway or something.
Yep. Yeah.
So I appreciate that from him.
I'm gonna go with a fan favorite because I don't necessarily have a favorite Sounders personality. I kind of like them all, but Eric Freeberg was even though I can't understand half the crap he posts, but you can tell he does it with style. So
Thank you, sir.
I'm gonna have to go with Eric Freeberg and tacos. Tacos.
I still love tacos. I had tacos for lunch today.
I'm going over here.
So we're
You
grabbing
can
some
go on
beers.
Get some beers and
that
then
one
yours
yours
there.
Who's your favorite?
Eddie Johnson, because he follows me.
That's the only Sounder that follows you?
Eddie Johnson follows me on Twitter.
He's the only one though.
Yeah.
I think, Alan Hinton does too. So.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'll talk to the other guys and tell them to add
It
you.
don't matter.
Spurning, Brad Evans, give me a follow, and you guys could win. I would put the lead to Spurning because he's been a lot funnier.
I actually heard a rumor that Facito was traded because he wouldn't get onto it.
Don't start Brad Evans rumors.
There you go.
I like Brad Evans.
We all like Brad Evans.
Yeah.
Here you go. No, I got
All
you.
right.
Oh, thanks.
Okay, so my second throw, we've all answered, right?
Yes, we did.
Except you.
Well, unless
No, he doesn't have a favorite.
does our engineer have anything to say? He's wide-eyed, doe-eyed, classy man.
He's like, shut up. The show's going fine.
Well, I just.
He's like, keep it moving.
I'm trying to be like the tickets I miss, all inclusive.
All right, so we're gonna move on to the next subject.
Myself.
go!
Well, I have,
Oh, are you back?
I am.
And
I don't necessarily have an answer right now.
We're
I mean-
starting to enjoy ourselves. but
Will
yeah.
McAvoy's returned.
Wow.
Did you just almost cry, tear up a little bit? Ouch.
Hold on.
This is
Oh, that was
Will
good.
McAvoy.
So, okay, now the other segue that I had in my head was tomorrow, who will perform and who will step up and who will be the man of the match tomorrow?
Salazar!
Hashtag
Kissing his
Salazar
biceps every
stalking
time he
you.
hands out a card.
Wow.
That's pretty good.
That was pretty good.
That
Yeah.
was.
Well, if he's not being recognized on the pitch, Salazar's not doing his job. So
Yeah. No, he inserts himself into the game, and that's the
Immediately.
unfortunate thing.
Yeah,
I-
you
I-
search him right in your
Re-
ass.
remember when
Yes,
you
he
watch
does.
Salazar, those yellow cards? That's just one ticket to the gun show.
yeah, it's true.
Just one.
It's
If
true.
you're
Have
lucky,
watched
you can
Joe
get
Dirt?
two.
Have you seen the movie Joe Dirt?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Oh yeah.
The reason I'm worried
Oh,
about
Mike, check one second. Yeah.
the reason I'm worried about
That's what I
Salazar
imagine
is
him
because
doing.
the
Everybody
Timbers appear to be
else
the
waiting.
darlings of the MLS and started out this year that way.
Well, I'm
And-
gonna just go ahead and say this. We don't have anything to worry about with Salazar because the last time Salazar reffed us, Aaron sat down and bought him a beer.
Is this?
I actually bought him a beer. This is we've not talked
After
about
the
this.
match,
We have not talked about
We've
it.
not talked
Reveal
about
that.
MLS refs come cheap.
Are you?
we just want to let you
So-
guys know.
Well, it
what's
was either that or he was
okay?
gonna punch him in the
this. No,
face.
okay, so let's back up for a minute.
We were
Let's
trying
just
to
talk about
foster
this for
some
a second.
kinship.
Yeah.
Let's talk about it.
So
Sorry.
we show back up to our hotel in Kansas City, and we're a little bit frustrated. I drove home in my underwear,
He did, honestly.
literally,
I had the shirt off, and we were in a convertible.
because of the rain that was there.
Wet convertible.
And I had no extra shorts because I only had one pair of shorts, so I took them off and wore
No.
my underwear.
He's singing. He's lip syncing. Sadly,
Comfortably
Comfortably
done.
numb.
no, I'm
That
never
Pink
gonna
Floyd.
give.
Oh,
you
yeah.
Oh, we
up.
started with Rick
That's
Astley.
right, we did. So, okay,
Please
but
tell me he wasn't doing Rick Astley.
Oh,
He
we
was
were.
in his underwear.
All of us were.
in the car
Yeah.
on the way
I
back.
was only wearing a
90 miles an hour
scarf.
on the freeway in Kansas City.
Say goodbye.
So,
Yes.
City's a hell of a
It was the best, worst drive I've ever
It
been a
was,
part of.
actually, it was.
That was my most depressing sounder moment ever.
Yeah,
by the
it
way.
was. It was.
Sounds
That was-
like
oh, shit.
But oddly, I wouldn't change a thing about it.
No, I would. I would.
Well, that's after Casey Keller rolls down his window and says, "Got screwed, didn't we?"
Hey, boys.
Hey boys.
So, we get to the hotel.
The sweet isn't sweet without the bitter. That's
Yes.
what
The bartender comes in, and we're talking to him, and he goes, "You know the refs stay here, right?" And we're like, no, you gotta be kidding me. So we're drinking more. We're trash.
Hey, the bartender goes, yeah, I bet you they're gonna sit right there at this table, right there. And like 3 minutes later, we're sitting there talking. We just get we hadn't got our food yet. And we're sitting there, and then all of a sudden, first it's Salazar comes in, and then Kennedy comes in right behind him, and then Tweedledee and Tweedledum come in and kind of like shadow them. And Aaron, at this point, me and Adam are kind of like, we're pissed off about it. We're like, fuck that, it's bullshit. And Aaron's starting to his hands are starting to like really shake on the table.
And then he lied to us.
And he starts.
No, I had to go walk. I said I'm going.
Yeah, he's starting to do little push-ups on the table like this. He's like,
now you're exaggerating a little bit.
It was almost like there was a pillow between him and the table.
It kind of was.
All right. Now we're going. So I went out. I said I gotta go walk in the lobby. So I went out in the lobby. I walked. And Dan Kennedy came out behind me and went to the bathroom.
I'll show him.
I just walked.
Another favorite ref of ours.
Yeah, exactly. Dan
Kennedy's the goalie for cheapest, sorry.
Which could have been another one you would have pissed
Dan Kennedy showed up in the hotel too.
Made a great shave right in front of you.
Okay, so
Michael Kennedy.
Michael Kennedy, yeah, he corrected me already. I walked back into the bar, and it's the AR, and which I don't know who it was, because Michael Kennedy was with the fourth ref.
Yeah, he did you no favors.
These guys are across the bar, so I mean, like across the bar.
I was trying to listen and read his physical, because I wasn't sure if he was.
I'm wearing all my gear still. I'm wearing this shirt actually.
He actually had his shorts back on it.
Yes.
The bar.
His pants were back.
And I went up to him and I said, I know it's a very tough job. You know, I'm extremely disappointed and frustrated with what you did with your call to the game tonight. I'm very frustrated about it. And then all of a sudden, out of the corner of my eye, I see Adam like running.
Well, it's because I had said, Adam,
like,
go.
Where that was going.
I was being urged on by 3 other Sounders fans because we were like, it's only a matter of time until he says something.
I'm like, I can't get locked up.
My favorite part
Not
of the
here,
evening,
not tonight.
My favorite part of the evening is the AR doing this to Adam. Adam came up.
Yeah, he was like, he actually, it is like, no, everything's okay. Yeah. And I was like, all right.
It was.
He pulls out his flag, sub.
It was, totally.
Yeah.
It was amazing. And that, to me, that was what sticks out in my head almost more than anything else.
And they were wearing the black, like, still, like,
they had their U.S. Soccer Federation polos on.
Yeah.
So I told them, I said,
they could have refed another match right afterwards and
then
ruined
I
another
went back
one.
to my seat. And I sat down, and I kept drinking.
And we got our quesadillas. Yeah.
I will say
that
this
is the
about
coolest Sounders story I have heard.
I asked these guys,
we'll see if it pays
I'm going to buy
off.
a beer for these guys. And they all said, if you do it, don't ever tell anybody.
You'll be a pariah.
But I did, because to me,
well, we'll find out.
I looked at it and said, they do a tough job. I yell at them. I guys in the North End, I yell at them every game. And Salazar's been on the list ever since the Onstad incident against Houston in the playoff game here. Ever since then, I've hated Salazar. We actually have a good record against them. There's a lot of stuff. I got a whole pivot table I can bring down if you want to see the pivot table later. Yeah. I'll show you my pivot table.
And this is what I'll say about Salazar. I'll probably lose like at least half my follow.
Yeah, that's.
But
I just lost all
as horrible as he is and as horrible as he can be, I think he's one of the better refs in the MLS. I mean that. You know,
but when his moments
that's
are bad,
it.
I don't know what that says about MLS reffing, but
from that weekend, I can tell you one thing about him: he's arrogant.
Oh, he is arrogant. I'll tell you. We sat right there in the same
stage.
He doesn't answer to anyone whether he's on the pitch or off.
I was.
Well, that's why I say it's like I'm like expecting him to kiss his biceps every time he gives somebody a card.
I was right behind us in line to get on our plane the next morning after we thought we were done with him. Right. We looked behind us and there's Salazar.
Well, okay, actually,
maybe that's why I have a softer spot for him is for the comedy potential of making fun of him.
Fair enough.
The
reason we knew for sure it was him wasn't because he was standing there. It's because the first class upgrade list, at which I was number 1, and there was 1 seat available. All of a sudden, SAL, shows up on the seat in 1A.
Who would come to mind?
1B. I know this number because that was supposed to be my seat. Instead, I had to sit next to Adam.
I only knew because he was wearing yet again another black top, sports tech, and shorts again.
So he took my first class
just out to get Seattle.
He's always a referee. Even when he's off the pitch, he's always a ref.
You must have gone out of the line, above the line, stepped off the line. You must have just pushed the line a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh, you have no idea. I've never had my Twitter feed blow up so much with things.
Well, people wanted us to do
threats.
People were willing to pay us money to do damage to him
and to get our bail money.
Yeah.
Also.
Oh yeah.
Which again, I'm not that kind of guy. Right?
No.
I got kids, obviously.
And he's a big dude.
And
too.
he might have, but not me.
If I were that kind of guy, I would have done
Kick
it.
My ass.
I would have
held
choked
him down
out.
for you, dude.
Yeah.
No, yeah, he stole my upgrade.
Yeah.
He
Stole
my
my
upgrade.
upgrade.
It wasn't even the match that did it. It
No,
was
it's
the
my
stealing
upgrade.
the upgrade. That was the straw. That
Actually,
hit us
it doesn't
back.
even
That
matter.
was
Like, the
last.
entire thing was it wasn't the fact that he actually came to the bar. It was the fact that the bartender took pleasure in telling us.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
That
beautiful.
is the entire best part. He's like, hey, you guys know the referees come here after
And
the
Ricardo,
games.
if I can call you Ricardo, we thank you for watching.
No, you can call him Dick.
Yeah.
No, I'm not worried about tomorrow. I don't think he's going to be a big issue tomorrow.
You don't.
I wish you wouldn't have
disagree.
said that.
I disagree.
I mean, it could be worse. We could have Geiger.
Well,
I mean,
I
or
take
that's
Stott.
the thing.
Or
Yeah.
Stott.
We
Or
have a
Hilario.
interesting problem. EJ and Montero
Or any
are
MLS
both
It's
on
fine.
yellow,
It's a
are
card.
really are one card away from a yellow card suspension.
It's true.
We have San Jose next week, which is a hugely important 6-point game for us right
Yeah.
now.
I agree.
Salazar could really screw our season.
Yeah.
tomorrow.
Because he hasn't already.
Yeah, I'm saying.
Hey, we're going to get that MLS
I would
guy.
agree
I don't
with
think
that,
that's-
and I would even go as far as to say I have red card concerns tomorrow.
Yeah.
65th to 70th.
Oh, Eddie
Yes.
Johnson's punching a motherfucker tomorrow.
Yeah.
There's no
Yeah.
doubt.
Or Ozzy.
I would
And on
put
that
money
note,
on
shout
Ozzy
out
Johnson
to Randy
or
Meeker in the
EJ.
chat room.
Eddie
Hello, Randy.
Johnson's the kind of guy that might punch someone tomorrow and actually be able to stay on the pitch. It's Montero that might just touch someone and get a red card.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know.
He holds the ball too well.
All right. I'm gonna ask one more question on my list, and I have another question from the group here. It's actually a great question.
Which
This
one do
was
you wanna
added
start with?
by Ryan. Pick one to sit next to at a match.
This is
sounder?
This is a good
No.
one. No.
No.
You get two
Hold on.
choices.
This
You have
one.
two choices. Would you rather sit next to some jackass who runs a?
Go, Sounders, go! Go, Sounders, go!
I was gonna say a chainsaw first, but yes.
Yeah.
Would you rather sit next to the Go Sounders Go guy or Timber Joey? One word, one answer. I'm gonna start with Adam, and we're gonna go around the table.
We
Adam.
don't get to give an excuse. Just
Nope.
one. Timber
One or the
Joey.
Go, Sounders, go.
Go Sounders, go.
Max.
I'd have to do Timber Joey.
Oh, no. Go Sounders, go.
Timber Joey.
That is. We don't need to take any more votes.
The unknown.
That's
Unknown.
He's like he's lived it.
Unknown evil. I've never had to sit next to Tim.
If I'm
Go
going to
sit
sit next
to
to a dickhead like that, I want that dickhead to be on the other side.
Yeah.
I don't want him. Like,
I know how to
being
operate a
my team,
chainsaw.
You know? If I'm going to sit next to a homeless, mentally ill person,
Yes.
I'd
Yes.
rather it be
Yes.
somebody that supported the
$125
Timbers.
jersey.
Yes. I'd rather have the ticking time bomb of his chainsaw breaking and lacerating
But
it. It's
I
taking
can
someone's
Hold on,
neck
hold
off.
on, hold on.
I
Charles.
mean,
Well, I'll say Timber Joy just for the fact that his chainsaw is chainless. It is a safety measure.
still break.
It's a fake chainsaw.
It can
for
still
all
break.
that matters to
well,
me.
I was
still break.
So when
wondering.
he's revving it and he's showing it off, it's a different chainsaw than the one that he
But
carves.
there's a
his little
motor running in it,
slabs
isn't there?
off. So if he was sitting next to me, he's going to have the fake
Get your
one.
It
motor
could-
running.
A
My
piston
answer
can
is-
still come out the side.
Because these guys know, having traveled with me,
Yeah.
I would love to sit next to Ghost.
Oh, he's a match for him.
I would love
want
to.
that.
I would love to be the guy filming it
Yeah.
while he yells back.
Yeah, no one's next to those two.
You don't know the amount of restraint. Had I not been like filming that corner kick before,
I would
that would have gone down a completely different way.
It
I'm
would-
like,
if I
I'm
was
keeping
filming-
the moral high ground here.
If I was filming him doing it, it would have been a shaky video because I would have been laughing my ass off.
It would be like
If you can
matter
buy
and antimatter.
Salazar,
He made a
Appear.
concierge at the Ritz Carlton cry. Do you know how many assholes are at the Ritz Carlton?
Well, one less thanks to
Yeah,
him.
he actually. Poor little. If you are Karen and you used to work at the Ritz Carlton, we're so sorry.
We hope you have found work since then.
All right, so that was great.
Thank you. I don't know
That
where
was
that
a
one.
great question.
Yeah, that was.
Okay,
I
so
don't know
now
where that came from. I don't-
we had this asked in the actually one of the gentlemen here asked the question, and also in the chat room they've agreed with this. Which former Sounders would you like to bring back to the team? And now we brought Henneman back, obviously, right?
Yeah.
What former Sounder would you like to bring back to the team?
Any era?
I'm gonna say, yeah. I'm gonna go first. I'm gonna go ahead and say that. I'm not.
Another Jersey bites the dust with
Never
beer
mind.
spilled on it.
No, I'm not gonna go first. Actually, sorry, I had a thought. Go ahead, Ryan.
Oh, that's a tough one.
I thought you were gonna have an easy one.
I thought I was too. I thought that would be easy, but
I thought it was gonna be your Twitter guy.
Well, see, the part of it is Henneman coming back today is so. Come on, I mean, before the day before Cascadia, that's just so bizarre.
Yep.
That to me answers my question. That's
Okay.
one of the people
and that's
I've
fair enough
said,
because he's
you
just
know.
joined the team today. I'm okay with that answer.
And that's
because,
out and bizarre.
So Kyle in here said Cam Weaver, which is where I was going.
Yeah,
I
okay.
started to say the reason
That's
I was so
actually not a
excited
bad
to say
one.
Cam Weaver,
Mhm.
but then I thought Freeburg because you guys talked about Freeburg, and I've got to say I'm a little bit
I would like
more.
to see Freeburg
I'd like to say
back.
cheers to Kyle. That's a good answer.
Yeah, that is a good answer. I'll agree with that.
Why aren't you
Cheers.
here, Kyle? But
Yeah.
cheers
Sorry
to
you're not
you.
here.
Cheers.
Yeah.
Hope you're having a
Chaz
good night.
says cheers too.
Chaz does it too, but he's in the bathroom.
He's filling up beer bottles.
Right now, tomorrow, I'd like to see Roger back, just so he could break the 48-second record. Plus, I was so disappointed this year. Like, he didn't, get score a goal
right.
before he retired because he had something amazing cooked up.
Yeah.
I just have that feeling, and what better place to do it would be Cascadia tomorrow.
So the question was, what former Sounder would you like to be bring back?
Ooh, that's a good one. I would say Nagel. Just a hometown guy. Local guy. That's what I felt most worst about. I mean, anyone is going to be the point where it's a business. You're going to lose guys. You're going to upgrade and all that. But for a guy to have a local story, it's something touching to anyone that might have lived, Federal Way in the 253. I would love to have him back. It means a lot to him. He grew up a Sounder fan, so.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I agree. That's a good one too. I like that one too.
You
For the
just, you
future,
just
too.
your followers just went up.
Seba,
Yeah.
Seba Latu is mentioned here. Riley, which I love. James.
Those were my
dude.
two.
James
Oh, sorry,
Riley.
I didn't go over here. I'm sorry. You
Hey,
guys.
that's okay.
I apologize.
Those were my two.
You
It
know.
would be Seba or James Riley. I think for different reasons. I think Seba left too early. A great USL player, had a great rapport with the fans. Came onto the
plug.
field. He was Facito before Facito.
Exactly.
Yes,
I mean,
fair enough. That's great.
And
point.
he didn't get a fair MLS shake
He
after.
didn't quit.
He didn't.
He never
Yeah.
quit.
He
Yeah.
never quit.
Especially, and I still don't think he's getting a fair MLS
No.
shake.
No, he's not, is he? He's
It's
not.
like I thought with Vancouver. It's like, all right, but
He can still come back though because he wasn't a Timber.
yeah.
Oh, that's good.
I'm gonna throw out there just because in the interest of being an older guy that watched the young Sounders when I was younger.
You're gonna say
I'd like
Alan
to see
Hinton,
how
aren't
not Hinton. I'd like to see how Gabriel would work into this team. Just because of the generational differences and things. That
He'd have to wear longer shorts.
I'm sure we can work that out. But I'm sure you
I
might
bet he
fight
would-
that.
He would be happy to.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Let's take
Thank you, sir.
Harry Redden.
Harry Red. Oh, that's a good. That's actually. Well, that's
So let's bring this full. That's good.
that's a
Digging
that's a controversial one.
Digging deep.
Beautiful.
What would that
It's a
be?
beautiful one.
I mean, we don't need any more bruisers, do we?
Let's bring this full cycle here for a minute.
Depends on who we're
Sure.
playing.
Max, you want to?
No one says Freeburg.
I did.
He did.
Oh, you did.
I did.
Yeah.
I said
Okay.
Freeburg. Yeah, I said the reason I was going to start out with Cam Weaver. That's why I was so excited to go. But then Freeburg popped in my mind. That's why I stopped. Yeah.
But that's
I-
a good answer. That's
Freeburg is.
That's good.
I mean, why do we all eat tacos?
Yeah,
Well,
I never
tacos-
Because of the Swede.
yeah.
Tacos are nice.
Now,
Nordic
not-
god
didn't
of
bring him
thunder.
up as the best sounder Twitter.
God of
Sounder, but
tacos.
That one tweet, one
Yeah.
word, tacos.
Taco.
Twitter.
It is the
And
best.
And the
Yeah.
RSL incident when he pushed down in the
Oh my
playoff.
god!
That gif of just shoving that guy down.
I thought for sure he was
Brilliant.
getting a red card.
I don't
Yes,
know how-
I did too.
Morales,
Yeah, that's
Morales.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Well said.
He
And he
is- he's-
deserved it.
He is going down.
He
He's Sounders lore for sure.
For sure.
Yeah.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
yeah.
Yeah, I know. I would love.
He
to
might be
see
the
that.
shortest. You know who else?
Yeah.
You know who else we haven't
Yeah.
brought up? Brian Ching.
Oh,
Oh.
thank you. Good job.
I-
Yeah.
But he's not coming back.
Oh, we
though.
could
No.
do this
I
all
went
night.
to a frat party with him at Gonzaga University one time. 'Cause
Did
that's-
you really?
Yeah, and that's where I met him, and so I've always been a lifelong fan of Brian Ching ever since. He was a really nice guy.
Right, we'll let that
Well,
stay.
I mean, can I just throw something out
Just
there?
trying
A
to name
hypothetical
drop
question.
is all. I'm
Yeah.
trying to
So
do.
That does it.
So this
I know.
preseason, Brian Ching actually got traded to Montreal. So
Right.
Brian Ching ended up being in training camp with Facito
Yep.
and Nagel.
Yep.
Yeah.
And who wasn't who else was
Oh, it was Wall or
Tyson
it was-
Wall, yeah.
Yeah.
or
It's
Sturgis.
on the
Yeah.
night.
Synchronized net
or
juggling.
Nasi
Yeah.
was there too.
No, yeah, yeah.
I
So
mean, it was Sounders.
No.
So it was
Yeah,
Sounder
beating.
it was Sounder light, and but can you just imagine, maybe maybe what Brian Ching would have said, what if I went to the Sounders instead of Montreal? Can you imagine what that thought process would have been? Instead of Eddie Johnson? I love Eddie, don't get me wrong. I'm just throwing a hypothetical crazy
know you
question.
love Eddie.
It's not that hypothetical. It makes you really wonder if that was talked about.
Yeah.
It could have
at
been.
some point.
It could have
I think
been.
it really was.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just throwing it out there.
Wow. Sonar rumors over here by Chaz.
I might know
How
something.
likely do you think it was?
Wow.
I mean, like on a 1 to 10, do you think it was
Asshole.
pretty close?
Well, definitely when he was to the
Aw.
point where he's like, I'm not going to play for Montreal, but he wasn't saying specifically, I want to go back to Houston.
Mhm.
Montreal was floating trade offers. So you have to think that we at least explored the idea of it, and I'm sure Montreal was holding a ransom, and we're like, yeah, we don't.
Oh, he may have been
Yeah.
orange. He may have been orange on the chart.
Yeah.
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 He may have been somebody we liked.
Right.
Yeah, I think
Maybe not really liked,
We,
but liked.
we brought up Wall.
Oh,
And
Tyson,
I miss
yeah.
Wall. I
I
mean,
do too.
Birch has been interesting. I like Birch in the reserve games, but Wall I liked a lot.
I think Wall
So-
came into his own
Yeah, I think so. Too.
when Leo got hurt.
Yeah.
I think Wall kind of that whole Wall Leo fight,
Yeah.
and you know the thing is Leo's come back with aggression this year, and he looks pretty solid.
Leo's had his best year I think ever.
I thought he was done after watching how slow
year?
he was
Yes.
last year
Yeah.
and how he wasn't making progressive runs off the back line, and this
Except
year
for that
just,
time he scored.
And now
we're not
he's-
talking about that one time he scored.
He's the left back.
No, but in this year
He's gonna be
and
left
you're
out
right,
soon.
He's awesome.
Leo taking guys on 1v1 this year.
Yeah, he's
How about
playing.
that and beating them?
It's,
That
it's
was
like
not
Zach
something
Scott.
that
It's
you
like
saw
him and Zach
before
Scott
this
were
year.
hanging out.
Leo's worked his ass off. He's lost weight. He has burst speed and top end,
All right,
and I
so
like him.
Let's do a segue here. We talked about this quite a bit. Although we do a Flacco, which I'm bringing this up too for this.
Oh,
okay,
that
hold
just
on, we're
hurt.
gonna come back.
Ow.
Okay, so
We have a whole team.
Adam earlier asked the question: once a sounder, always a sounder. Okay, that's great. Once a sounder, now the other team. Sounder again. Do you forgive the sins of the dirty, unwashed masses that he spent all that time around, or is it not okay to bring it back? And I think this is one of those that this will spark some good debate. But let's start with Brad Pitt.
The person least expecting to have pointed at him.
What do you once a sounder, always a sounder, unless you're a Portland or another team like the Chicago Fire, who are mini Portland-esque.
You know what? If they're wearing the color, I wish them all the luck in the world.
Great. Okay.
That makes my answer a lot harder.
Ryan?
Once a sounder, always a sounder. No, because when Lindbergh was, to me, that was the test, and I put that very question to myself at that time, because when he initially went to Chicago, I'm like, all right, once a sounder, always a sounder. Within a month, I was so glad he was out of Rave Green.
And failing.
when you saw the difference on the field, all of a sudden, it wasn't 3 or 4 guys. It wasn't Lindbergh going arms out, Montero going arms out, Alonso going arms out, a chorus of guys going arms out. All of a sudden, you saw all the team let refs ref a game.
You're right.
And all of a sudden, we became a better team without Lindbergh. No.
Addition through subtraction.
Yeah. Well said.
I'm torn on this one.
Big lug.
I am
Bring it
because Lundberg is a great example of no, he's not a sounder anymore in my book, and I don't want him back. I don't ever want him on the team. But one thing that you didn't say is Roger Levesque played in Portland.
Exactly.
So and we all have a great we all have a great we all love Roger.
Roger Dodge.
I mean, Levesque. But my whole world here is I have to go back and think about how I feel about European players, and
Okay.
you know when I think of when I think of what happens in Austria and what happens in Hungary and what happens in the Czech Republic, I mean they'll throw rocks at your car. They don't give a shit. Once you're gone from the team, you're gone.
You're gone.
We as Sounders fans, like you said, we would go and support somebody after they leave, and Flacco is a good case of that. I still follow Flacco.
Well, I turned it on and watched him score that
Yeah.
goal, and he was out of position. Michael Hadley made a good comment. He was kind of out of position, but he made that great header.
Sure.
And even though I want Chicago to lose for positioning, etc.,
Sure.
I was excited for Flacco to score that.
I mean, I know.
funny to
Kyle's
see
watching the
excited.
show, and I mean, I know he pays attention to Cam Weaver because of the roots here in Washington.
Yep.
I think that it's to me. There's some players that can't come back. There's some players that can't make that
Can
gap.
I pick one that can't come back? Noonan.
No, whoa.
What are the odds
Now
of that?
there's a common thread on all these players you don't want back. You don't want them back because of what they did as a sounder, not because of what they're doing.
Freddie Lundberg
as
is not like
players.
that. Freddie Lundberg in particular, the comments that he made after he left the Sounders, before he left Chicago, disparaging the club, disparaging Siggy, disparaging Adrian, and disparaging the green jersey
In the league.
Yeah.
all before he walked out. After he scored those goals for us, after he kissed the crest, after he threw his hands up and was so excited to be here, and then you just turn around and you shoot us in the back. I mean,
no, fair enough.
I
And the
was
US
so
Open
ready
Cup.
for him to leave when he
sure,
left.
I think we all were.
I mean,
And Kufo.
when he got traded to fire, I was like,
Kufo is,
when
I
he
mean,
started getting
He
red
took the
cards
Ramones a
for
little
arguing
too
with the
literally.
ref,
Yeah.
1, okay, 2,
yeah.
but he's...
I don't have a problem
Kufo,
with
that was
Kufo,
a good
though.
one.
I have a problem with how he left.
I do
Okay,
too.
if you fine, you want to retire, not 2 hours before our home opener. You pulled this.
That was ridiculous.
Wait a second. There's one aspect to this that I can't hold against most players. Lundberg, I will hold it against him forever and ever and ever. But 90% of the conversations that we're having about players leaving or coming from clubs have absolutely nothing to do with the players.
Right.
Yeah.
Cristiano Ronaldo is a different story. When he has an argument, it involves $40 million.
Right.
Freddie Lundberg at most was what, 1.6, 1.5? We're not talking huge amounts of dollars here.
Chump change.
Well, for Adrian, for Joe Roth, this is small money.
So that really means that it's a question that you can't just nail down to a yes or no. Once a sounder, always a sounder. I don't know that you can put a yes and no.
No, I think
That's a great comment.
Yes.
Just real quick, I'm going to talk about the chat room. They're talking about Kufo a little bit, right? Which we've only briefly touched on.
Blaze.
When he left, I was disappointed when he left at first because
I was standing right next to Lickett when it happened.
He was a star, he was supposed to be that guy. But when he played, other than the hat trick, he didn't really play.
He was here for a paycheck.
Right.
He was.
I think he was starting to gel. All these guys.
Okay, yeah, he was here to retire, but he played the position that Siggy wanted him to play, and he was extremely unhappy in that position.
Exactly, that's just it. He didn't want to play the position, and he got grumpy and said,
because that wasn't his natural position.
He pulled an Aaron when he gets all grumpy on the iPhone.
No shit.
True story. Watching After Dark, you saw it. My wife, when I got to bed last night, she's like, "Is everything okay?"
Hashtag After Dark.
Anyways,
I would say it depends on how they leave.
Yeah.
It's like I take that position to like any sports team I follow. Like I was a big Penguins fan, and
I'm sorry.
They can't
Tell me, we got the Stanley Cup, so it's good.
I'm a Red Wings fan.
I'm a Capitals fan. So we now have to fight.
Yeah,
Literally.
We actually
We'll
do.
film that too.
Yeah.
New York
Part of the After
Rangers,
Dark show.
But like
weirdos.
Jaromir Jagr, the way he left,
yeah.
that left a bad taste in a lot of people's mouth.
Until
that was
a hockey team
mean,
sponsored by Jägermeister, I will not like hockey.
I don't completely hate him. I dislike how he never lived up to his potential.
No, he did.
But
He did great in Russia. What are you talking about?
sorry,
we're not supposed to talk about that?
But again, that's just an example of sports teams. How I view it is how you leave makes all the difference. And what you do when you're wearing the jersey, too.
That's
also.
Hasselbeck when he left the Seahawks. If you're going to go into other sports, that's a very common thing. He left under... it wasn't his choice. You can see why they let him go, and we're not going to discuss last year. But he's still a member of this community. How many players have gone, but still are members? James Riley had his charity event.
James Riley, he can come sleep in my spare bedroom anytime he needs to.
Oh, this is what was great
Griffey
after
Jr.
the Chivas match. We're on Elysian Fields after that, and here comes James Riley walking through.
We applauded him on the way in.
It's like, and the whole place went crazy.
And applauded him on the way out.
It was great.
Good point.
And
He's
everybody knows
he's a sounder for life.
Everybody knows
here.
that if Faceto if Faceto got offered a contract and took it back with the Sounders,
Done.
he would be in the. The next time he was at Starfire, he would be mobbed.
Yeah.
He is a I want to say he's like a Sounders cult classic.
The church would be rebuilt overnight.
Yeah.
The church would be rebuilt overnight.
Yeah. Like a
He has risen.
Yes.
Well, the thing is
that was unfortunate timing for some people that were watching
All right,
this
I've got a question here.
commentary.
In the chat room.
Yeah. What? I didn't do it.
The cranky man who's wearing the Bill Murray shirt.
How did they determine he was cranky? That's what I want to know.
I had to look to see
This
if I
is
was wearing
nothing.
the Murray.
He has not
No,
been
I got the
cranky.
green
Why can't Cam Weaver come back to the Sounders?
Cam Weaver can come back to the Sounders.
Okay, well, the impression is that you didn't think he could come back there. He shouldn't come back to the Sounders.
I think he can come back to the Sounders just fine. I don't know if we have a position for him right now.
Okay.
We're kind of a little stacked in that area, but
Okay, fair enough.
How about under the table?
No, because I thought we were talking about Ching. I don't think Ching is going to come back.
no, Ching, no. I think
But
Cam Weaver is a fan favorite.
Is it
He's
fair to
a.
say everybody at this table would be okay with Weaver coming back?
Oh, I would totally be okay.
So take who's playing?
Yes,
On this
but-
team?
Okay, but that's a great question.
I mean,
He's gonna
hypothetically.
he's going to be on the bench, and actually, I would love to see him back, but in the situation with the players that we have now, with all things as they are, as are said, Cam Weaver would not fit now.
I agree.
I don't think he would fit
But
with
would I
Siggy,
like him
personally.
back if it happened?
He
Yes.
can have a golden scarf.
I don't know if he fits into Siggy's player profile.
Exactly. Yeah.
Either does Brian Ching in that, for that matter.
If they did, they'd be
But
playing
Ching's
for
off
the
table.
Sounders
He's not
right now.
playing. He's not coming back.
No.
But
But
Weaver's at that point in his career where he could still come back. He could probably still be a beneficial member of the team.
Yeah, but where would he go?
I don't know the answer to that question.
I mean, you got to think about where our speed is. It's in Cam Weaver's spot, and I don't know if Cam Weaver has that type of speed.
But you
Put
know
him
what?
right
You know what?
back.
Cam Weaver in a U.S.
seems to be
Open
where
Cup
everyone
context,
goes.
if
Could
you
be
were
our
to
new
come back,
Levesque.
Cam Weaver would
Sure.
get starts,
Brad
and he would
Evans is
be
our new
awesome.
Levesque.
If you want to put Cam
Our
Weaver
new
on the
lead.
reserve bench, yeah, he would totally fit. And I told
Yeah.
he'd
You
be a
want him
great.
over Sammy Ochoa?
Yes, I
Yes.
do.
Ooh, good
I don't know. Have
question.
you watched Samuel Ochoa in the Open Cup?
Ochoa
I
has
know a certain
been
someone watching
tearing
this right
it
now.
up
You
in
just
the
broke his
reserve
heart.
match.
I like Ochoa.
I can't watch him. Like every time he scores a goal, he does that Sammy
I
jog.
like it.
I hear the Pac-Man music in my head.
If Jacob is
Waka,
watching
waka,
this, you guys
waka,
are breaking
waka,
his
waka,
heart right
waka.
now.
And then they come in, they
Jacob
slide
loves it.
tackle him, he goes down.
Jacob just
I love that.
all
Every
three
time
of
he
you
scores
guys.
a goal, he does his little happy Sammy jog. I just hear
I
the
like
Pac-Man.
it.
Waka, 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 waka.
But no, I think Cam Weaver could come back. And I
Wrong,
think
sir,
Cam Weaver
wrong.
would be really good. I think Cam Weaver's dynamic would be really good in the locker room. And to the point of the Open Cup, I think he would be a great reserve player, Open Cup, CCL. I think he would bring a different dynamic to the CCL that we don't have right now.
I agree. I totally agree with you. I'm not. So Kyle asked, because Kyle has some, Kyle from being from Federal.
Yeah, and he's got.
He's asking the question here now. Name anyone except EJ that is a true forward that's better than Cam that we have on the team right now as a true forward.
Can't name
Other than EJ,
True
that we're still
forward.
paying a salary for.
that's on the team. Other than Eddie Johnson.
Wait, hang on.
He
That-
Peter Gallery, listen up closer.
Yeah.
that is.
You watch the show?
Other than EJ.
We don't have one right now.
See, okay, then that's Kyle's point, and that's
Okay.
why I want to bring that up because it's a good question.
Kyle.
Kyle, just log out.
But
No. Kyle gets point. No. Kyle's
Kyle,
of course.
Kyle has
Kyle
Kyle has
He's
a very
busting
good
our
point.
chops.
Yeah.
But is Kyle? Do you guys see Cam Weaver as a holding forward?
No, he's
Okay,
he's
that's
not a holding
no.
forward.
That's what I see
Kyle's
EJ
point-
as
but
a
Kyle's-
holding and turning forward. I mean,
But Kyle's point has merit. If let's say for whatever reason Eddie Johnson is out of the picture, how are you going to bring someone in? If we were to able in the off season then bring in someone like Cam Weaver, he wouldn't be an immediate turnover to Eddie Johnson in terms of goal production, but he would be that person that would give you that position. And
why don't we
Kyle's
bring?
right.
There's the opportunity to bring in an Icelandic guy that might actually be able to fill in
Now
this
that-
position.
I hear that from afar.
A Viking,
Wow. Wait a minute.
I've
Which
witnessed
guy?
him.
the Viking,
The Viking. The
I always vote for the Vikings.
the good Johnson, not the bad Johnson.
Yes.
Whoa. No. Nordic players?
Is
I'm
there-
always
is-
for.
I think Cam Weaver could come back to the team, and I think he could do very well.
Well, here's a good question. It's off topic.
Can we get off the Cam Weaver topic?
Yes.
All right.
That's what I'm working on.
Thank you.
Can we,
He
can we
was
get-
just trying to.
God's sake.
The sale that
you
he
want to
has.
you want to do what to Cam Weaver?
Will
You
Red
heard
Hook make a bottle that looks like the cup?
Oh, they should. How
Oh, and
brilliant.
the other question to that was, will Red Hook add the cup to no equal when the Sounders win the fourth time?
Well, that's an easy thing to do.
If ECS has anything to do with it, for sure.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
they made it happen before, so I don't see why
They'll
not.
have it in,
Yeah.
in silver foil on the label.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be
I like the
great.
idea of a cup-shaped something.
Yes.
Well, okay. So if you look at the Cascadia Cup, the Cascadia Cup is a big.
I know it's not good for a bottle, but maybe a glass.
More like a chalice.
Like
a chalice,
yeah, chalice. Yeah.
It's like
yeah.
Indiana Jones.
Sure, I go with
Special sounders.
But you know,
Yeah.
we're not going to have to worry about that because there's another cup that I think would look much better.
Yeah, that's bigger.
I agree.
Yeah.
It's got handles on the side too.
And nice curvy.
Put some streamers on there.
So this question here is one I'm getting not directly from the chat room, but a few things here, and this kind of goes to Charles, to you. It's somewhat related to the Cascadia, but not so much. We signed Henneman today. Obviously, we have a new player. Is that the end of the moves that we make today, or do you think one of the two players that played this weekend will join us? Here, I'm going to start with Charles because you obviously have some of the most in-depth
Obviously,
knowledge.
the deadline was supposed to be that you get your paperwork done at 2 p.m. today, 5 p.m. Eastern. With that, as you always find out, stuff comes in late because obviously it's like the inner workings of the MLS office. What are they up to? Where are they at? Apparently, half of the office is in Portland for this huge match tomorrow.
The inner office mail.
Yeah.
But apparently, I think the other half made it to Portland, Maine. But I don't know. So apparently, you know that they should have the paperwork. You know, so whether that has been filed or not, you know, I don't know. It has been really, really quiet on on the two trialists that we had. So it seems like it's probably not going to happen, especially with how did we pay Hahnemann, and still be on the cap. We had to have been really tight on that. Obviously, Idor would have been a great addition. Really would have filled out the depth at forward for us, especially if anything would have happened to Eddie Johnson and all that. We would have been set for the playoffs because we found that out last year. Rosales got hurt. That really bit us in the ass. We want to have that depth. I'm going to say no, and only just because I'm skeptical because it's been so quiet. And it just seems like...
So you think we're set with the lineup we have right now?
And all of us should be comfortable with that anyways. It was just kind of
Even
a cherry on
with
the top.
5 goalkeepers?
Well, what I think you'll see happen is you're going to have a phantom injury. You're going to see Weber get put on the injured reserve.
He's already been knocked
turf toe.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's someone. It's of course you only really want to carry 3. We have 5. You're going to see some guys like pretend injuries and then you'll see Weber go in the offseason.
And Charlie, do you think it's going to be the goalkeeper injury, or do you think there's anybody else on the bench? Or
definitely
is Duran already on the injured list?
He is.
Okay.
He is,
With the knee
turf
surgery.
toe.
Yeah, so
No, he's actually
I know.
He's done.
Andrew Duran
He's done,
definitely is hurt. He is on the injured list. With 5 goalkeepers, you're gonna have to see 1, if not 2.
Winaldo's not
go.
good enough for Cal FC right now.
It's tennis elbow.
Was it you that brought up after the Chivas match about Spurning not doing as many
I thought
kicks?
it was
I thought that was interesting.
It was really weird, just kind of hypothetical thing to talk about. Hahnemann coming in and worrying about Spurning going out with another injury because he was out for extended period of time this season. In the last Chivas match, I noticed that every goal kick, every time he touched the ball, he kicked it short. He never punted the ball. He never, goal kicked it the way you normally would because he's a decent goal kicker.
Yeah, he is.
He's better than Keller in getting distance,
He sure does.
An accuracy.
So I thought it was really interesting. Every time he kicked it short, he was always kicking the center backs, and I was noticing Chivas pressing up, almost ready to intercept that because I thought for sure he had some kind of leg injury. Nothing was made of it. Nothing was said about it. I don't know if it was a tactical thing. I think it was just a matter of keeping possession, essentially. That we were playing a different type of game against Chivas, just wanting to build from the back. So doing that from the keeper to the center backs, going forward with that, and that was just the way it was. Because I felt alone on that. I was the only one that noticed that he was never kicking it long.
And I thought about that when you mentioned it to me after the match, and I'm like, no, because I've been noticing more and more of that, like, just from away keepers, and I just thought, I thought we were building from the back, and because I'd seen away keepers doing it a lot at home matches, I thought it was just as a way to cut down the YSA chance.
It's a
so I think they wanted to do that because I've been noticing just overall in the league more and more kind of short kicks building from the back. So I just thought it was that until today, and now I'm wondering.
I
must have that spot on. I mean, there's 2 scoops for you.
Yeah,
conspiracy.
No, it's good though because I think I think today a lot of people thought, oh my God, why do we have a 40-year-old goalkeeper? You know, I mean,
well, a lot of people are worried that is he going to be the number one? Like, oh, well,
no. Somebody tweeted out that there was a rumor that Gasperni was getting traded, and I'm like, no,
he's so invested.
Well, we can even go back and say, once a Sounder, always a Sounder.
Right.
I mean, this could be. I mean,
we here to retire.
We know that when Sperny was brought in here, Hanneman was in the running as well.
Yes, it was.
It could have been, we'll bring you in under the radar as soon as we can, get you into the team. At least you're home, you're training, you're in the MLS.
He was in retirement mode until last week.
Yeah, he was. And so, I mean, who knows?
Yeah, so I think it's Jen.
I mean, for him to come home, what if they're grooming him to be a coach in our academy leagues?
Which is fine.
Which would be great.
I think it'd be wonderful.
To have that experience
to
in our coaching staff. Yeah, come home, play the rest of this year, see where you are next year. You're going to be a coach. I mean, like what they did with Keller, where, okay, sign this contract, and then you can have a job in the
front office.
Yeah, I agree.
Or in
do whatever you want.
Booth,
Let us we need to acquire your rights so we can do what we want with you.
I'm okay with that. And especially giving up a conditional draft.
It's
the same thing we did with Sammy Ochoa last year.
Which I still think to this day is a good move for Ochoa. I like Ochoa. I know a lot of people don't. But
the interesting thing is, why didn't we do this last year? Like, he wanted to come here last year. We were so worried about the allocation. We thought we'd have to give up too much, but now we just had to give up conditional.
He was still under contract. He was trying to help them out until he got let go at the end of the year.
Yeah,
but he still wasn't re-signed, and then he signed with Everton. So he went from Wolverhampton to Everton.
No, that's true.
So he could have came just the same way.
There was mention about that, and it had a lot to do with cost, and that the cost for the Sounders to bring him in to do that.
So just 1 year, because his cost went down in the trade.
If you look who was in front of us, the one team I honestly thought was going to get it today until you scooped it and brought it up, which kind of made me happy. I thought he was going to Portland.
I did too.
If I looked at the top 10, I thought
Portland, look how much money they spent on Donovan
Ricketts. Ricketts is old, and Portland in allocation is number 5. Toronto was number 1. I thought the same thing.
I thought for sure he was going.
I agree.
Portland's building on Gleason. That's their future for the goalkeeper.
You think so?
Yeah. Ricketts is just a stopgap, just the same. So I don't see what the difference would have been for Hahnemann for them.
Yeah. Okay, that's great here. Okay, good. All right, we have a question here that I need to get back to. Hold on. It's a 2-part question. There it is. I lost it. Stop. Don't move. Don't type for a minute. Hold on. Oh my God, I lost it.
Not you. You're fine. You can
I know. I'm fine.
Oh, on the Cascadia, any surprise starters or in the 18 tomorrow? Do we think it's a regular 18 or a regular 11, or is there a surprise in the 18?
It's full firepower.
I think it's the strongest. I think it's the strongest 18 we can field. Yeah.
It's the full firepower.
I got the sense that it is possible that Christian Tiefer will not start.
Yeah, I think.
But that would be the surprise. Not seeing Mario or not.
That's a shift.
But they would still be in the 18.
That's Evans Alonso in the middle. You put Rosales and
it could even be just a Bill Belichick head game thing.
Ziggy's the
And
best.
that was what
He's smart. He's a genius.
Okay.
He knows how to work that.
I do think that the one surprise is probably Mario Martinez definitely making the 18. That we're worried about that he played all these minutes.
They haven't seen him play hardly.
He's 12 years old. He's got plenty in him.
He's got the
that means he's just.
We're just gonna give him some pixie sticks. He'll just be running around.
Full power tomorrow.
12 years Mountain Dew, he'll be fine.
12 years old means he's just entering Lee's demographic.
I can kick the ball.
You guys want the good news or the bad news?
Bad news first, and then good news.
Internet's
bad
out.
news is I forgot to record this.
Yeah.
The good news is Danicus just entered, so for Danicus we're gonna start all over.
Nice.
Let's roll back the notes.
I recorded the whole thing. Don't worry.
Shout out to everyone in the chat room.
So the second part of the question was
left out.
Left midfield. Who's starting? LM. Is that what that question was? Hold on.
Oh yeah, I'll go Zakwani on that.
Zakwani.
LM, yeah. Okay, sorry. I want to make sure I got that right.
Yeah,
he's getting better, faster, and
stronger.
stronger.
No one's seen him all year. He's that wild card, and no one expected him to have the speed back.
Right.
That he has.
I see Zach if Mario Martinez is in the lineup.
I don't think Mario
I could actually go Martinez starting.
You think so?
Saving Zach.
Really?
I have a feeling that Zach isn't going to start. I just have a feeling about that. I don't think
actually,
you have a physical game. You don't want Zach to want.
Yeah, you don't want to risk
national break, but I really feel like
I think he's
Now
gotten
is
really
the
good
time
at
when we're
leaping
gonna
over
really
people.
unleash him
Yeah.
and just
He
say,
probably
Yeah,
does.
he is
I've
that
seen
speed.
Portland is a shorter pitch. I see Zach on the pitch. because
Speed
of it.
No,
kills.
I want
This
to
is
see
true.
Cato
This is
in the
true.
18.
Small pitch.
Speed
I
Yes.
kills.
need Cato in the 18.
I would like
because
to.
that pitch
Cato be
is
his
like
next
Starfire
Yeah.
in
Yes.
some regards, and I want him there.
I need
Play more
Kasky
now.
Rose
And
somewhere
I think
in
they'll be
this
there, too.
mix.
Yeah.
I do too.
I hope
Speed
Andy
lineup,
Rose
best speed
plays
lineup
the
you
part
can do.
because I love him most of all players.
Make sure when you're talking to the mic for me.
Yeah, and tell Ziggy, because that'll change his mind.
I think it's kind of
Well,
funny
no,
to see
Andy
this.
Andy Rose, he's English, he's
Yes.
blonde,
Yes.
he has the same birthday as me.
Yes.
He is basically.
He's just you.
Well, I wish he was.
We have a
I'm-
special
I'm-
guest.
Andy Rose is
Is here.
We have a voice
Guarantee he's not in the 18.
We're using some
He
software
has
to
the same
disguise his
birthday as
voice.
me. I mean, he's blonde, he's English. I mean, there's no reason why I
Does he
wouldn't.
does he power drink as well? Or
I hope he does. I hope he
Alright.
does.
We have
Does he sing as
God help us all.
We have 5 goalkeepers. Obviously, Gasperning.
God damn it! Someday you're actually going to pronounce it properly.
He comes, visits you, and you
Spurning.
still.
That
you
guy who
you
starts
just
for us,
refuse.
Michael Gasperning.
He's probably watching
Michael
right now.
Gasperning.
He's probably watching.
G-spurning.
Spurning.
Where are we in the
All right,
notes
Michael
here?
Spurning.
We lost the
But
notes all the
Michael-
time.
where are we in
you
the
don't think
notes?
I do half of it? I'm reading out the question
I've
here.
lo- I've lost
What is the
everything.
second goalkeeper? Who is the backup goalkeeper tomorrow?
Ford.
Ford.
Yes.
Bill
Yeah.
Ford.
Bill
Has to
Ford
be.
Town.
Corum.
Yeah.
And you know what I want from Josh
Ford
Ford?
is no question.
I want him to grow out that goddamn Kimbo Slice beard again.
Yeah.
Yes.
That thing he had last year before he got hurt
Yeah.
was so
Hold on.
badass.
I have breaking news.
You guys missed my
Hold
double
on, breaking
entendre
news.
with Corum
I just
Ford.
got an email from Don Garber. We get a special 19th member of the team. Roger Levesque gets to come in and play the last 48 seconds of the game. I'm stealing kind of that from T. Peter.
Do we get 12 players
It's
too?
a time wasting
T.
sub.
Peters off.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's it.
Time
We're
waste.
gonna win. We're ahead. Time wasting sub by Ziggy.
He's just gonna get out there and
Great
get chopped
tactical
down.
decision.
Levesque's the first name you've pronounced right in a long time. You've gotten good at that. It's too bad he's not playing anymore.
Unless Becky is a good player.
Levesque.
Levesque.
Roger Levesque.
Roger Levesque is
All
my
right.
favourite player of the
So let's
I ran into him at Target one time.
let's talk. Let's go off this for a minute.
Okay.
Let's talk about one of the biggest losses of last year. I cried a little bit at this, actually, for real.
Real Salt Lake.
Nope. Off season. One of the members of the team that we lost in the off season went to a big national operation. Is the voice that when Seattle went down 1-0, came back, went down 2-0, came back, went up 3-2 in Portland last year. I was on an Alaska Airlines flight flying to Dallas on the way to Brazil. And I'll never forget this because I'm wearing my jersey and I am freaking going nuts because they have Wi-Fi on the airplane and I'm listening to it and I'm going crazy listening to Arlo White. So Arlo White's calling the game tomorrow. This is the first game on a major television network since 2008.
Yeah.
June of 2008 is what I recall
See you at the
correctly.
Berliner Pub.
Yes, we will be at the Berliner Pub for the 12:30 start tomorrow. You guys are all welcome to come down.
Cheering Sounders, drinking beer.
Yes, absolutely.
Let's do a
Arlo White was, I think, one of my biggest, toughest losses last year.
Thank you.
I think Ross has come in that amazing, but
Ross has done.
What happened to Vandy? Is
Arlo.
he still is he still player coaching?
No, he went down to Arizona and was doing something down there, I think.
He was my
All
favorite
things
announcer.
Did he?
No.
I was gonna say. So, anyways, so he's calling the game tomorrow. How do you guys feel about the whole Arlo situation, having him come back, and then being on NBC? I mean, this is the first game in years they've been on NBC. Let's go with the lead first.
Once a sounder, always a sounder.
Let's
I'll tell you
assemble
what,
that.
man. I've had more exhilarating pisses in the bathroom at Questfield listening to Arlo than any other time in my life.
By the way, Questfield, best place to pick up tampons if you're on them. Yes, they are free and you can steal them as much as you want.
I want to make sure everybody heard that.
We're running short on time, ladies and gentlemen.
Note to
have a
self:
bandwidth limit.
tampons.
If you're in a bind.
Why are you
They
taking
are
that?
there. How many notes?
That was not my fault. I did not
Harmony
say that.
knows. Best place to pick up tampons.
Let's move on from that.
And if you take them, if you know the Angry Sounders guy, feel free to put a shitload of them in his gas tank. I wouldn't. I would never.
Never do that. That's a top gear right there. Don't ever do it. Yeah. It's a bad idea.
So
I do not recommend it.
You certainly didn't get the idea from me.
I would never think of it.
Proudest monkey who's not in the room tonight, so we can make fun of him.
Oh, Mark.
Mark.
God damn it,
Mark likes to stir controversy almost as much as the non-beach countries of Poland and Latvia. He somehow got into a conversation with somebody from Kansas City who was playing Houston tomorrow night.
Tonight.
Sorry,
1-1 draw.
I apologize. 1-1 draw. That was the best game of the whole year then, probably. And they kept talking about how it's funny that they're promoting the worst game, the shittiest game of the year, is actually the quote he did in Twitter. That this is the game tomorrow is the shittiest game of the year on NBC.
Well, by record, it is.
The U.S. Open Cup final wasn't on NBC. That was on Gold TV.
But his point was, here you have a team that's number 2 and number 6 in the league. You have Houston playing Kansas City. It's a big rivalry game. When you go back to January, when they set the TV schedules, or March or April, whatever they do it set it down. And so everybody looked at this game and said, Portland was supposed to come into this year. They were supposed to be a good team. Seattle, of course, was supposed to be a good team. And we have lived up to our destiny, what we're supposed to be. This game here, not only it doesn't matter that Portland's not going to make the playoffs. It doesn't matter that the only thing they're playing for is this one little chance of a cup, the Fan Cup. That's all they live for right now. That is it. I still think that this is the game that the MLS should promote this weekend.
Absolutely.
It's the biggest game of the weekend. It's the third biggest game of the year.
Until they come here.
Exactly. That's why Arlo's doing it, and it's why it's on. It's done.
I mean, it's a college Saturday. It's a college football Saturday tomorrow.
That's what's mind blowing to me.
We're 12:30.
That is what's mind blowing to me.
Right. They promote complete bollocks though. They'll be like, oh,
wait a second.
Whole Sunderland clash.
Well, this will make up like the other big rivalry. You know, like if you want to look at the Eastern Conference, would be DC New York.
Right.
What did they do with the last match up there? That wasn't advertised at all, except for an awesome DCU ad campaign where they were just trash talking New York. But then it was on like Spanish language channel.
Right, but they promoted on Facebook and MLS site. They promoted both our game that weekend and that game that weekend, and that was what I thought was interesting. They did not promote anything on the site and Facebook other than our game.
Yeah.
I mean, highly.
It's up against college football, too, so they're putting it on the big network, on the main network that everyone gets. So that's a big thing. Yeah, it's like... Well, I mean, it's not just an NBC Sports marquee, it's an actual NBC proper.
What kills me is they're going to film a stadium with 20,000 people in it instead of coming to Seattle and doing it with 65,000.
That's why, because with their cameras, it makes it even more impressive to see a sandbox full of people than it does. It's like, yeah, exactly. It's like, look at Price is Right. It's like there's like 500 people now, 200, and they make it look like.
If you guys don't follow Randy Meeker, it's at Randy Meeker.
Follow him.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Randy, but it's at Randy Meeker. His comment here in the chat room, I think, is brilliant. In this case, is what I was trying to get across to the gentleman that we were arguing with on Twitter, and having a good discussion, I should say.
A lively discussion.
Always lively. Yeah. Even if Real Madrid is shitty, the Clásico is still a must-watch game.
Yep.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Always full of chaos.
Yep.
The same with Cascadia.
Tomorrow's
game, I predicted a 4-1 match win on the Monday night show. I think I'm probably crazy. It's probably not going to happen. I hope it does. But it is going to be.
It could be.
I went 3-1.
Amazing game.
It's the closest thing to
a
derby.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to promote this league and get it out there internationally, this is the derby to watch.
Well, internationally, this is the game. This is the only game that people give a shit about.
Yeah. I mean, this is what you want. I mean, this is the rival that you want in DC and Philly and DC and New York.
And Major League Soccer. It's not a derby, but it's close. It's the closest thing you're ever going to have.
And MajorLeagueSoccer.com, they missed it. They totally missed this opportunity. They walked away from it big time. And I think part of it is when they said yesterday in their podcast, when they said that, well, teams that are in the East Coast, what are they going to care about it? And what they missed is that this has been a long time coming. Not only a long time coming, but this is something that effectively was auditioned, if for lack of a better way of putting it, last year when you had both of the rivalries played. And what I thought was interesting today who got it right. The Wall Street Journal gets it right, and MLS.com gets it wrong. MLS.com walks away from it, and Wall Street Journal puts us on page 1 and has the decades of dominatrix on page 6.
Here's a great
Decades of
dominatrix. Was she Austrian? Did she have a sheep?
But I mean, here's the great thing. It's like this is a natural rivalry, that sprung up because of our geographic location, everything else. And it's something that kind of exists in every other sport, It's like you look at, NFL rivalries and stuff like that, baseball rivalries and stuff. And it's something that MLS has lacked the entire time. And here's this thing that's perfectly natural, that's a big deal. It's a big deal when it happens in any other sport, no matter what team you follow, when there's a battle like this. But now, all right, nobody else has this, so it's like it's a focal point.
Well, the thing that bothers me about MLS in this particular regard is MLS is trying to spur rivalries that don't exist organically.
Yeah, exactly.
LA, New York, who gives a shit? I don't care about New York or LA.
They're trying to do it in TV mode. That's all.
Exactly.
Rivalry should exist because we learned.
Racial profiling exists. Why?
But you know what? I think this is why NBC has done a good job. NBC last year, when they brought in Arlo, one of the comments that they made is that they were looking at how Major League Soccer is either taking some influence from college and at the same time influencing back college versus other professional sports. NBC is out there picking up on this, and some of the other networks, even MLS.com, missing that. I think that's disappointing.
Well, the one I found it actually interesting. The MLS Insider, which actually I don't follow, but it got retweeted by somebody else. I unfollowed them because it's just pure
drivel.
It's
Drivel.
This is drivel. Yeah.
But I will say though, I don't know what's his name, Brad Eaton or dumbass shithead dude doesn't shower from Portland or whatever. I can't remember his name.
Timber Joey?
No, not him. It was actually interesting. I retweeted it later.
Cool.
It was interesting. They had a comment on. He called us arrogant, and the arrogant. I don't think he understood what the word arrogant means. To be quite honest with you, but
I don't think you know what that word means.
well, I'm arrogant. I mean, that's fine.
No, but he was trying to sum up like 30 years of a rivalry when it's like, get in the now.
Exactly.
We are not the thug team.
Yes.
You are probably more like the thug
Exactly.
team. We play a beautiful brand of football.
Yeah.
You
Absolutely.
don't.
Right.
Yeah.
Get with the now.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And he's a Red Sox fan. That's a great.
Oh,
Yeah, I couldn't even finish watching that.
Except what have they won?
Yeah.
Who, Portland?
Exactly.
Yeah, they did.
They've won two things. They've won Jack and they've won shit. I think.
That was good.
Too soon?
I was gonna say.
I don't know. Too
Yeah.
soon for
They
what?
won the right to care like we do.
Yeah.
But that was, I
we
think yours
do.
better
Care
actually.
like we do.
So
Shout
But-
out to Pong.
yeah, pretty much.
They won that right over Cal FC. Oh, wait, they lost that.
Hey,
I don't know whoever did that mock-up of the Cal FC inside of Genweld Stadium.
Oh yeah.
With that was fucking brilliant.
which one was this?
So they have an overhead picture of Janwell Stadium in that new section where they put in the prawn sandwich eaters. They spelled out Cal FC somehow. I don't know if they photoshopped it, but it was just fucking awesome.
That's good. That's sweet.
I haven't
I'm
seen
pretty
that.
sure they were all
It was-
flown
oh.
in.
And that was the first prawn sandwich reference we've ever had on the show.
It was.
Ding.
So here's the
Those have been flying
here's the
fast
good
recently.
comment.
Ever since Go
MLS does
Sounders
not
Go
care
Go.
about this rivalry because it's established. Growing the other rivalries is good for the league, which I agree with.
Okay.
You have to understand a rivalry before you can grow one.
The follow-up
Yeah.
comment is New York Red Bull versus LA shouldn't be
Fuck
first,
that.
but Dallas Houston should be.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, that's an organic.
Yeah.
That's an
Those
organic-
guys-
That's a natural. You mean if you go
Yes.
from the college standpoint, that's a natural civil war.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those
Can
guys
be.
have such a great
Yeah.
trophy
Yeah.
for whoever wins. They get a cannon.
Yeah.
Like, it's not a cup. They get a cannon.
And they get to live in the
They can
Alamo.
trade.
Yes.
They have an actual fucking cannon. How cool is that?
Well,
I mean, that should be a much bigger thing than
Well,
it is.
MLS screwed that up because they moved Houston to the east.
Yeah.
And that was just
Yeah.
brought up our
And they're not allowed to shoot the cannon.
And they get a little Davy Crockett hat.
Yeah.
on.
I mean,
Exactly.
probably Houston will come back to the West when we get that 20th team in the East.
Sure.
They screwed
Yes.
that rivalry up a little bit.
They sure did.
Well, I mean, and then you have the Rocky Mountain Cup, which is or whatever it is.
Listen,
It's
shitty.
It's building.
It's been building, and I think it's actually.
It's not
I mean, the
shitty.
Mormons
It's
are real
actually-
pissed off about that one.
You just don't like it because you had to sit in a car for 35
No, we're not
hours.
talking about Sounders, Real. We're talking
But
about
you know
Real
what?
in Colorado.
In all fairness to Colorado and Real
Nice.
Salt Lake, the fans there are building that in an authentic way.
Yeah.
And they are. It's
there's-
organic.
There's credit.
Yeah.
due for
Considering
that.
where they live.
And then you've got poor little San Jose, who just like hates everybody, and they're like, somebody please be our rival, be our Portland.
So we made
That's
it,
what
so
they
we
want.
made up a cup for
So
them.
it's like they
Yeah.
they go after LA, they come after us. They're like, come on, you guys, hate us, hate us like you hate Portland.
Oh, little
Somebody,
Goonies.
give us attention.
I have a riveting, very important question to ask here, because this came up in a reality sense earlier today. If your daughter was gonna date, pretend you have a daughter,
Oh Jesus,
would you let your daughter date a Portland fan or a San Jose fan?
Oh God! This is nice.
I'd let my daughter date 10 San Jose fans. Sorry, I'm going there.
San Jose fan because
You only
they're
have to
less
have
likely
one. You didn't have to
one
give up the full
know
10.
anything, or
Well,
at
actually-
least not be as obnoxious about it.
Yeah, no, quite, yeah.
Well, I don't know. San Jose fans are kind of obnoxious.
I'm
Is she straight or gay?
No, it's a tough one, but
As a father, I need to meet the boy.
yeah.
With the shotgun.
You know,
Yes.
That's what it comes down to.
I gotta say
I need to see
earlier-
what kind of fan he really is.
Slut over
Earlier
your
today,
shoulder is.
I had this discussion off, not like a full discussion on this.
I would hate him forever, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would still rather say San Jose, but I'll
Because anyways, I don't know if I could answer the question. I need
That
her.
being said,
When she's
if
35.
there's no chain on the
You know,
chainsaw,
hold up.
When
Not
I'm
allowed
dead
to
and
date.
gone, you can
If
do
there's
whatever
not-
you want.
exactly.
if there's no chain on the chainsaw, then she's not getting knocked up by going out with someone in Portland. So maybe San Jose is a better place.
I'd go strictly by weather.
Don't look at me like that. You're right. I'm the one with
Your daughter's closer to that.
I know. I'm sitting there still saying
Your young little sweetheart.
she can hang.
Making Lee uncomfortable.
She can hang out in the San Jose locker room all she wants.
Randy's like killing it in the chat room here. He goes, although I have serious doubts about the abilities of a Portland or San Jose fan to woo a real woman.
There you go. It would never happen.
It's a movie.
Very
Right.
good. Very
It's
good.
moot.
Oh, that's awesome. That's
That
2
actually
points
is
for that.
that is a
Subject
valid. You know.
Very valid.
oh my god.
That
Yeah.
wins. That wins.
JNTRKY says, I have seen some of the Timbers Army tweets over the years. I would never let my little sister date
Wait a
a
second.
Timbers fan.
Exactly, especially after the I'm going to use their tears for lube comment
Exactly.
earlier tonight.
Water
Yeah.
is not a lubricant.
No, it's not.
Yes, please let us help you.
Listen to the pipe
A little quick to come out with that. Hey.
All right, we are
That's
coming
common
up.
knowledge.
I think we're coming up on kind of close to the end here. I've got two things. I want to
If
correct
not
this. I want to say it's at Meeker FC.
Follow Randy.
Which Randy is a
Talk
good
that
guy.
up.
Randy actually follows me for some stupid reason.
He actually follows me too, so I'm lucky.
Yeah, no, but
I'm
I
lucky.
have a story though. Did you guys want to hear a story?
Sure.
No.
you-
I love stories.
Okay.
I love stories. Aaron.
So
Did you touch him?
no, Randy was a big EJ
Oh, sorry.
supporter, while I was not a big EJ supporter, and I was in St. Louis for
Until
the
last
Open Cup
month, then?
game. Until actually the story from the AOL Sporting News from Brian Strauss. That article really opened my eyes and started to change. And Lee can talk about it because
Oh yeah.
that article changed
yeah,
my view
yeah.
of him because he's actually becoming a true grown-ass man, I suppose. He's actually growing up in a lot of ways, and he's being a mentor to what I'll follow up with my next comment on. And Randy was a big supporter, and we had a discussion or argument back and forth while I was in St. Louis watching the Open Cup game from St. Louis on a business trip. And I unfollowed him that night because I was tired of stuff. Yeah, so I was an asshole that night. So a complete asshole that night. Because, and it's hard to believe, I know. But I'd also been listening to another fellow who I will not bring up his name or bring up anything about him, even though he's a very religious folk who follows conservative political leanings.
Wonder
And I made some comments that night, and I
Today.
unfollowed Randy, and I was
who
I was
could
an
that be?
asshole that night, and I want to apologize to Randy. I'm glad you're watching tonight because I refollowed him a few weeks later.
Asshole.
Because I was getting all this stuff still, and I refollowed him, and he refollowed me not too long ago. And so, my point of this is that even though I know you guys think I'm almost always perfect, I'm not. Not the end of
But you own up to it. You own up to it.
Shit, he is.
Yeah, I don't know what the
But-
fuck he's talking about.
At Meeker FC is a good
Get
guy.
your hands
He
off
is
him.
one of those guys. He's got great knowledge. He's a great, very
That's a
knowledgeable.
Lysol thing now.
Yeah.
We'll
So,
follow. We'll follow.
This is kind of an intervention, yes.
Well done.
So my segue there on the follow-up was this weekend, another one of our, it was our first guest on the future, Dom, is going to be down in Portland. He's down in Portland. You guys have probably seen on Twitter.
Reserve game.
He's playing in the reserve game in
Sunday.
Gary on Sunday.
Yes.
Sunday.
So we're very excited about that. We love Dom. Dom's a great kid.
Friend of the show.
Dom kind of took my EJ feelings to another level when I talked to him, because Dom talked in honest truth about how amazing Eddie has been with the youth in the future, and with thanks to
Okay.
Kyle
Wow.
and allowing us to do this whole segment on the future and we can bring these kids on the show. We've really learned a lot about what Eddie is behind the scenes, and Eddie now is tweeting them, is talking about them, is doing everything, and I appreciate that.
Well, I want to even go one
So-
deeper on that. One thing that I've noticed about Eddie in the last 3 or 4 weeks is Eddie is talking to 14 and 13 and 12-year-old kids.
Yes.
In particular, he has a following of young female soccer players
Yes.
that are looking up to this guy, and he is constantly involved in their lives via
Absolutely.
Twitter.
Right.
And
Wow.
it's amazing to me that it's not even just the reserve players anymore,
Nope.
or the U18 or the U17. It's he's built in. I mean, like Allie, who watches the show on Mondays, and sorry about your dog this week. That's terrible, Allie. But
That's rough, yeah.
I mean, and some of Allie's friends, they're all getting together. I mean, and I remember when Allie first started being on Twitter a couple years ago, and she was going through this whole Montero thing. And I remember when Montero followed her for the first time, and she lost her shit.
Yeah, Ali loves Montero.
Yeah, Ali loves
Yep.
Montero, and she lost her
guessed
shit. And then, but the way she's interacting with Eddie, and then Eddie is interacting back. I can't get Eddie to freaking even send me a hi. But you're a 14-year-old kid or a 16-year-old kid that's meaning
He
don't.
retweeted me, by the way.
Can I add
Yeah, he's
something with
replied
that?
to me as well. I think he
Eddie,
just doesn't like you.
I don't blame him, even though I was the only one that
Could be.
supported him when everybody jumped his shit.
Eddie
But I
Johnson
supported
on
him.
my niece's birthday. I tweeted him, and we're at the Caledonia game, and it was my niece's 10-year-old birthday, and I just said, "Hey Eddie, go have a great day. It's my niece's birthday. Really excited about taking her to the CCL." Nothing. I was just tweeting.
Yeah,
No big deal.
Sure.
And
Not
at
expected.
halftime, he comes back and he goes, "Thank you so much for coming, and wish your niece a happy birthday." I showed her the tweet, and she's crazy. She's playing soccer again
Yeah.
now. She's a goalkeeper. She's 10 years old.
Right.
She
that's-
loves playing keeper.
I think
and
he's learned
how
this.
awesome.
That is what
Yeah.
Eddie Johnson's doing.
Yeah.
now.
This
Yeah.
is the thing. I was never a Eddie Johnson hater per se. I was very skeptical of the trade.
Sure.
I will admit that. A
Sure.
majority of us, I think, were.
Yeah.
And he's more than proved,
Oh.
worth that. And I honestly, I hope he stays here the rest of his career. It's like I don't ever want to see him in a non-Sounders kit,
I agree.
unless it's a U.S. national team
2 years
kit.
ago.
That's
Yeah.
the only other
I
kit
think
I ever
that
want to
He
see
needs
Eddie
to get
Johnson.
I love the way you say
It's
that.
because he's better.
I love the
2
way you
years
say
gone.
that, Rick. That was good.
I agree. I
Payday.
think, yeah.
But the one thing
Prestige.
that Eddie has brought is now everybody else is following his footsteps.
Yes.
You're
And
seeing the rest.
T-Fert's doing that.
Wow.
Tifa.
You're seeing the other guys. You're seeing, now that you're just seeing that dynamic if you go to Starfire. I mean, I've been to Starfire for years and years and years and years. I remember seeing the guys. I mean, he is doing the same thing with a bigger impact than
Yep.
James Riley was
Yeah, I
having
agree.
with the
Exactly.
6, 7, and 8-year-olds 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And
He could
years.
have snuck out. He was at the game on Sunday. He could have snuck out because he was not wearing Sounders gear. He stopped and had everything signed it.
Well,
for everybody.
not only that, he actually even posted it to Twitter that he was at the game.
I-
He
Yeah.
wants to be such a part of this community. He
Yeah.
wants everyone to
Yeah.
know that he is a Sounder.
I agree.
He-
Sounders.
He's
realized
here to
that this
stay.
was his last
and
chance
I
Yeah.
like that.
to make his career, and he's
But
like,
it's
I
not
can't screw
anymore,
this up.
It's
and he
not.
wants to be
I
here
think
because
he's
he
not.
knows
I
how
think
much
he
we've
loves-
accepted him. He
And I think
knows
he's
like
he's
how great
making
the scene is.
an impact on these
Yeah.
kids' lives.
Yeah.
And he's really seen, oh, hey, I can do something good.
He's able to do a
Yeah.
hell of a lot of good.
He's
Yeah.
acting like
He's
a father,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't even
and
think
to his
it's-
children, and to the rest of the family.
And
The
think
Sounders
about
family.
I
think
don't
about
even think it
Montero.
was, like in the same way
Yes.
though.
Well-
like
Montero bumping off Shalry Joseph to make that cross.
Oh, yes, yes. Right.
Great move on Montero's part, but I think it goes back to what you're saying. I really do. I think that Eddie Johnson's influence has got Montero spurred on to see how he can use his skills to make a move like that, because that cross is all set up by bumping Showery Joseph off.
Well, you gotta know someone's going to be on the other end.
Well,
or at least a shot at it.
Yeah.
How many times do you see someone make a run and the ball rolls across the front, and there's like 4 people 20 feet away from you, right across the front? Yeah, and you're just.
Well, you got to remember, even when the season started, people were bashing the crap out of Eddie Johnson because of his Twitter presence.
I was one of them.
And then and this was the thing, he
guys
stopped.
in England that saw him score
some
goal.
It was all the Cardiff guys,
fans, and they still tweet and they still love him.
And there was that, but his dialogue that he had with some of the U.S. national team players went over a couple of lines, especially here in Seattle, where we're a little bit more liberal, to say. Sparked off. He said a few things that were taken out of context.
Well, he said no homo, right?
Yeah, no homo.
I don't appreciate at all. I called my ticket rep, actually. I was a little frustrated by that one.
Sure.
It's an important one not to say.
Sure.
I get the kids say it today, but that one, I think, crossed the line for me.
It's like, it's when you're that kind of personality on Twitter, though. It's one thing to say it like in private to somebody. It's like if you want to joke, but it's another thing to be a public persona.
But look at
and come out and say
look
that.
at the month he had after that of just getting brutalized.
And then he quieted down. He kind of left his Twitter presence.
Sure.
He left Twitter.
And then all of a sudden, he started tweeting a few things. It's like,
he started scoring some few goals.
And this was like the New England game.
To do it for him.
Jacob, Jacob, cheekybackheel.com. He was like, dude, watch the EJ post-match conference. Look at his body language. He is about to go on such a major tear. And I watched that. I'm like, oh my God, dude. I'm like, yeah, you're right. And then, sure enough, right after that, he was back on Twitter and then just scoring all the time.
Well,
so it's like he just kind of cooled down, got his head together, and then came out on fire. And, it's like you gotta love that.
I have one fear with EJ right now, and if you guys all see it and everybody can sit there, and the anger and the aggression that he pulls out during his goal celebrations, I'm sorry, he's got a lot of anger still in him.
He's from Florida.
He's locked and loaded. He's locked and loaded on getting back to the national team, and that's part of what he's making when he's doing that. He's trying to make a statement that I'm here, I'm back.
He almost accidentally took Brad Evans out.
That was awesome.
Which is great.
I like that.
What do you think of all the best boxers that there have ever been? The anger in there is
well, I understand. Everybody calls me angry. I get it.
Wow.
I don't know why. I wish I could kill them all.
You should see him off camera.
But
So I will say this though. The bottom line is, I think that Eddie has been by far one of the best moves that the front office has made. And Aaron,
especially from a risk reward.
I was wrong.
Everybody down that should be saying that.
I do, and you guys have seen it on Twitter. Whenever I say something positive to him, I start out with, I know I wasn't the one who said it.
You owned up to it.
Because I was wrong.
Yeah.
And you love it.
Speaking of being wrong, I'd just like to go on the record. You're recording this, right?
I am.
Brad Evans has had an amazing 3-week period.
Yes.
I know how hard that was for you.
It hurts.
So I appreciate that because he has been on a run.
He's doing really well. He's fired up. I want to say it's Mario Martinez and Tiffert and
so many people.
It's just all these things.
He seems to be in a better position. I mean, have they moved him maybe into a more natural position of where he should have been?
Yeah, they almost made him left out.
Yeah.
Exactly. Oh, wow. No.
Can I tap on?
Go
ahead.
All right. So we are coming up. I know it's probably going to be hard to believe, but we've been on the air for almost 2 hours now.
Wow.
We are.
And people are still watching.
We're actually.
It was actually only 45 minutes, but it's a time warp.
We've stayed.
It's like being in Kansas City.
We've grown now until the last few minutes, as a few people had to go to bed.
Did Kareem go to bed?
He has never. I have not seen Kareem on.
At 10 o'clock on a Friday?
Come on. Son of a bitch.
So what I want to do now is we're kind of at the last part of it. I have one more question that I want to ask. If anybody else in the chat room wants to ask a question, ask it now. If not, I'm going to ask my question, then we'll go around the table one more time and just make any last comments, any thoughts. Okay? My last comment is you have 2 choices again. We like these 2 choices tonight. Okay? So this is the hardest one.
No.
Ready? Merritt or Adrian?
That's too easy.
What do you know? You want me to ask a question or no?
Oh, there's a question involved. I thought
that was the question.
Okay, yes, I want to hear the question.
If you worked for Twitter, who would you rather have?
Which one is better on Twitter? Fake Adrian or Merritt?
Oh,
Merritt.
Oh,
well, seriously, I thought this was supposed to be a hard one.
I think it's one and the same.
No, but for real, the real question is... Yeah, the real Adrian Hanauer, though, for real. I mean, I think we're lucky. We're very fortunate we have who we have. Merritt, regardless of the fact of his family and his politics, etc., and his family, his father and everything else.
Yeah.
Merritt, I think, is a little bit crazy.
Full on.
A lot of crazy. Adrian, I think, is an amazing person, and I am saying now, I wasn't saying at the beginning of the year, vote Adrian, please.
Use your vote.
I will personally
I don't think
cut
there's
you.
any chance
Has
right now,
anybody here seen the little excerpt of the Sounders documentary?
Yes.
There is a great...
That is phenomenal.
Okay,
the 14-minute...
I will give you...
I can't wait for that.
I will give you the answer without giving away the story, which, everybody knows.
Give it away.
Makes you want to cry.
So there is a moment that they do a perfect job of splicing in different segments. And what is it? It is Adrian Hanauer in work shoes, in business shoes, juggling the ball. That is your answer. If there's any Portland Timbers listening to this podcast, the difference in Adrian and Merritt, Adrian knows the game, Merritt ? At best.
At best. Okay, that's a great comment. So I will say, I'm going to put that as Vimeo. I said it wrong. Vimeo. Surprisingly enough, I said it wrong. Vimeo. I'm going to put that up on the SonarFeed Facebook page because that is a phenomenal.
That is an amazing.
Phenomenal video.
Yeah. Everything is phonetic.
It will make you
How does
cry.
he introduce himself?
I don't even
You
know.
will cry. I cried.
I cried. I think we all cried.
Alright, so that was too easy, obviously. Any more questions, feel free to ask.
We're all on Team Adrian here.
Do we even have to say any more than that?
No.
We don't even have to go. I think Ryan got it.
Are we going to sleep tonight, or are we going to stay up all night?
I think we're
all
staying
night.
up.
I'm rubbing one out and going to bed.
That means you're gonna.
That's what you've been doing all show.
What are you gonna think about?
He's doing a Pulp Fiction. He's doing a Vincent Vega from Pulp Fiction.
Oh my god, that is fucking awesome.
That's why I'm on the show.
Do you guys have any,
You can just think of Adrian Hanauer's really soft
comments?
hands.
I think we had some great viewers. The participation has been phenomenal. I like the environment here. I love the Berliner. I wish we were at the Berliner, but doing something like this with this big of a group.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
this is a lot of fun. It's always fun hanging out with you guys, but this has been especially fun.
I
so
agree. I would
thank you for having us on here.
Oh god, yeah. I want to get the feedback. I would like to continue this. Maybe it's not an every game thing, obviously. I mean,
would always
as much work to went into this. I mean, someone will want to watch the games.
Exactly, right. But I'd like to do some more of this because I think it's good. And I want to continue to foster the idea of this is the whole SonarFeed thing. The whole thing it's about is, besides the fact that it's about this phone that I can't replace because Apple won't take my fucking money to buy a new one.
Jesus Christ. Wait, what is this show running on, by the way?
Dude, you can put that on eBay for so much.
Yeah.
Dude, this is the one. This is the bow.
I want to hear him say what this is running on. Well, I'm just balancing it fair and balanced.
Usually does.
I'm being Fox News.
Just relax.
I just want to say a big thank you to you guys for having us on, and I hope everybody goes and checks out cheekybackheel.com.
Go check them out.
And checks out our podcast. We are going to be doing a show if Jacob makes it back from Portland alive. We'll be doing one Monday.
You already ripped his
that'll
heart
be
out.
up Tuesday or so.
Okay.
Wait, are you competing with us now?
No.
Asshole.
No, we're recording.
I think it's recording Tuesday, coming out
the next
Wednesday.
day.
You guys have a show of ours. We're gonna be together all the
We
time.
had
I know,
a
it's fine.
date change. We were doing
We're having
Fridays.
a day change. It was on Fridays,
Yep.
but now
You guys are
Cascadia.
What?
God damn it! Let me plug my show. Let me plug my show. God damn it! What are you paying me for?
Do it faster.
So, all right,
Are you on my network?
Yeah, I thought we were going that.
I thought we were too. No, because then I can't talk.
We're moving to Wednesdays.
I thought it was synergy.
We're moving to Wednesdays, but we're going to do this next Monday because we have a
The
Champions
bathtub.
League match next Wednesday. But ordinarily, so this Monday.
We're going to
guys
do
have
Monday,
that.
we're going
You
to
guys
do
have that.
Friday,
Show
and then we're going to do Wednesday.
You don't have to explain yourself.
No,
But it was really funny.
Yeah.
Cheeky back
And hopefully we come on your guys' show again.
Yeah.
Let's always
Oh,
tell
you're always
Patrick
welcome.
We will, because I think
Let's all
We'll be
go
on there to
back.
plug and mess up dates.
And for
everything,
those
yeah.
that don't know, it is Aaron Riley. As he saved with the viewing of the Sounders game on his iPhone, he also helped us with our first podcast. So we'd like to have a big thank you to the whole
Yeah.
Sonar
Well, and
cast.
I think
it was this very microphone.
It was.
It
Actually.
was. It was
No,
this
actually, that one's mine. That
Don't
was
forget.
his.
They all look the same.
But don't forget, this wouldn't have happened.
They're all silver
without
ornaments.
these two gentlemen over here,
right.
who came with me on the trip while we stayed at the
Well,
ranch.
we were all tuning in. You know,
Yeah.
it's the same.
So it's
Listen
all
to
of
Ross
us.
Fletcher's call and watching.
It takes a
videos.
village, guys. It takes a village.
Takes a
What
village.
I, wanna
I believe
see-
in it.
I think what we want to see on Sound
I do.
Feed and
Serious.
everything is it's the fans.
It's true.
I just want to get some more followers. I want to get
Fandom.
pass
At
that.
the mod writer.
I keep losing them for some reason. I don't know if it's the horrible things
Probably
I
because you
tweet
took the
out.
video down.
Well, yeah.
Did you take your video down?
It's
Yeah.
controversial. And it's like,
No, well, and plus,
Dude, it's not like you belittled two countries.
YouTube was screwing me on the monetization of that. For as
No
many
way.
hits as I got, I didn't see a penny for that. So I'm like, and then there are other assholes with like really shitty
That's
vlogs
what you're going
that
with?
are like,
We
oh,
follow
yeah,
each other.
yeah,
always that
If I
sit
quit
in
this, I owe each of
standing
these guys
section.
That other
$10,000.
major sites are kind of
Shit,
linking
talk
back
about
to
no
that
money.
weren't very good, so I'm not letting
Earn the
them kind of have the fun of the traffic
stories.
and
The fun
going
is
back
over.
to cheeky
Yeah,
back.
no, I
Hill.
agree.
And the fun's over. Like I
Fun's
said,
over.
like I
Fun's
said
over.
in the post I wrote about it on Cheeky Back Hill is this is Portland week.
Yep.
We don't need to be talking about this. We've got bigger fish
Moving
to
on.
fry.
That's true.
We have to ruin the season for these guys.
Yeah.
That's all that matters.
I think you should do a remix though, and sometime in December for a Christmas present, you should put something up funny.
Maybe so. I mean, some of
I'm
them
just giving you a
probably
free idea
happen
for
at
Just
the
to
San
get some
Jose
music
match.
to it, that would be great.
There'll
Yeah.
probably be a new one at the San Jose match, especially now that everyone knows where I sit. I'm sure people will go
I'm
there
sure I might actually
just to start.
Yeah.
Reverse
Yeah.
the video.
Sonar Feed.
Yeah.
So we're gonna do a Sonar Feed flash mob.
Yeah.
Lee and Adam, do you have anything else you guys want to say as we end and wrap this up?
I only have one thing to say. September 28th, 29th, and 30th
Yes.
at the Piazza in downtown Renton. Beautiful downtown Renton. We will be hanging out with the Austrian Amazon, who
Yep.
happens to be Manuela Horn.
Yes.
She rides a sheep.
She rides a mechanical sheep. Check out SonarCast. Check out the
YouTube.
Sonar Feed, YouTube.
And
Check
also-
out
Facebook.
DTR Oktoberfest on Twitter. DTR Oktoberfest on the Facebook. We are going to be there. We are going to do our best to
I'm
broadcast
gonna be
live.
joining you guys.
We are going to be
for that.
broadcasting, and we're actually going to invite you guys. We're going to figure this out. We're going to do a live broadcast from the Berliner.
We have our own
Oktoberfest.
table.
We have our own table, a Sonar Feed table.
Adam the car critic will be there too.
Yes, he will.
Adam,
So
signing
Don't
autographs.
you dare drive your shit box down there, because I might make fun
Because
of
he
it.
won't fix
Oh,
your
so-
alternator, believe me. You'll have to do that
That's
on
right.
your own.
I will look
Thanks,
under your
Adam.
hood. So
So our secret project, the last couple of weeks you've seen, Brasbit has done a lot of behind the scenes work. Adam,
A lot of
excellent
behind the
work.
scenes
A lot of
Excellent
behind the scenes work. Wait till you see this.
And a lot of
upcoming
great
stuff.
Photoshops of Angry.
Well, wait. I'm talking about this. Wait,
I'm the
wait till
key
you
grip.
see tonight and tomorrow morning on Twitter. We shot a couple commercials for the Berliner Pub for Oktoberfest.
Oh, that's
early
awesome.
surprise for
And
everyone
they
watching.
are-
Nice.
I mean, I was my camera, so I shot it, but I thought they were awesome. I mean, I really do. I think they're really.
I'd high five
amateurs.
Brasbit, but he doesn't want to be on camera.
They were great. So
Air 5.
tonight, we'll
Sky
check that
5.
out. But at this point, I think we're done. I can't thank you guys enough.
Hey, thank
thank
you.
Thanks
Thank
for tuning
you.
in. Thanks for
Hey,
showing up.
This has been a load of fun.
Pay attention to all of us. Earlier, as soon as we started, I actually, if you follow me, Lee Rail, on Twitter,
We do.
everybody who's sitting around the table that was speaking into a microphone on camera was actually tweeted out.
Yes.
So if you want to get any of us on Twitter, go ahead and give. Apparently, some of us need a little more attention than others.
Yeah.
That's
Help him
great.
out.
Got the
I
mod writer.
just started this shitstorm and
This-
I haven't
it's-
seen any benefit from
It's like
it.
Toys for Tots. It's just a little early. Help him out. Let's get him some followers.
Here, I got an analogy for you as we end this.
Twitter bomb.
Oh, here we go.
Pretend that we're all on ships.
Not
We're
the
all on
bathtub, now
ships
we're
in
in
the
the
bathtub.
ships. And
Oh,
there's
here we go.
Water in the
on
bathtub.
Had to
ships
bring
in
it
the
back.
bathtub. Here we go.
Actually, I have one more thing.
Go for it, Lee.
Kareem For You 97 is running for a freshman class president. If you go to school with Kareem, your asses need to be voting for him because he's trying to win a SonarFeed t-shirt.
And it's at Karim, the number 4, the letter U, 97.
This message has been endorsed by the Nut Juggler.
He's a super fan. The
last, okay, and
have fun in high school with that.
We need to isolate that and upload
it. I failed. The talent failed. I don't have Willy Wonka in here, so talk for.
It's already there.
Let's all go to the movies. Let's all go to the movies. Let's all go to the movies and have ourselves a snack. Are we done? Are we done? Are we out?
Hold on.
You touch the walls that need to be sterilized. You're so busy lifting drinks.
I want to say, though, again, we are about the fans. We're about you guys. We're about working together with you. These guys are great writers. These guys are great at something.
Fan culture and making fun of people.
We make fun of people.
But it's the fans is what this is about. And thank you all.
Good night, kids. Peace out. Go Sounders.
Does he get it? He doesn't. Why not? Because he broke the rules. What rules? We didn't see any rules, did we, Charlie? Wrong, sir, wrong. Wrong, sir, wrong. Wrong, sir, wrong. Wrong, sir, wrong.